afternoon, chat. I know we're early. We are half an hour earlier than we would usually be. That is because of daytime savings, only affecting me and Keela, but not Mina and me. Which means that for them, it's still an hour ahead. Which means that for them, it would be 9 a.m. Now instead of 8 a.m., which is the time that it would usually be before starting this Roomba. I'm going to go say hi to them right now. We have we do have a guest for today, but I guess she's gonna show up later. But as per usual, let's go say hi to the boys. There's no game today because I thought that it would be more appropriate to have more space for images. So, hello boys. How are you two doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
I explained chat, but we're starting earlier than usual.
Yeah, I heard it on the stream.
We have, as Bolt eloquently says, we have time traveled. Bolt's not today on the Roomba because 4 people is enough, and we're going to be 4, but probably she's gonna be here eventually. I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, media hydration. Okay.
Daylight savings time is the worst thing to come out of Australia.
But we'll get to that next week.
Yeah, more
when
next
everyone's.
Hey, Bo.
Where next week we'll probably actually, everyone be on the daytime savings.
Maybe I'm not actually sure when the US does it.
Sure, but we'll see. Anyway, what do you guys want
We'll have
to
things to
start
say.
talking about today? We can start with Mina's grudge.
Okay. So I have a grudge against Toonami / Adult Swim.
I have no idea what that is.
Toonami and Adult Swim is basically the anime block here in America on Cartoon Network. Toonami has always been somewhere for action. It's kind of been the transition between Adult Swim and Cartoon Network on Saturdays nowadays. They had it in the early 2000s, but they had to stop for whatever reason, and then they came back in about 2017. So in 2017, in commemoration for Toonami, they held a 20-year anniversary giveaway. Me being, I think I was about 18 at the time, I qualified. So I entered, and I actually won. April 12th, 2017, I won some of the giveaway sweepstakes that Toonami had. But I never received anything, and I never heard anything about it.
Bruh.
Cringe.
8 to 10 weeks. It's been 5 years, Toonami.
And then I just never heard anything.
Bruh.
I live down the street from the Cartoon Network building. I could have easily just stormed over and said anything, but it's also been too long for me to actually do anything about it. So now I just have this email. I won a sweepstakes from Toonami, and all I got was this shitty email.
Bruh.
They hacked the Dutch government,
Okay,
and all I got was this
Keela is-
shitty T-shirt.
Keela is on her way home. She'll be able to jump in a bit. So, she is coming.
Yeah.
She is incoming. The Irish woman is coming here to chat. That sucks. First of all, like holy moly. I never really entered those kinds of things.
It's almost the reverse. I actually have in my dorm room. It's a little plush thing. I won a World of Warships tournament that I technically didn't play in.
Love that for you.
It was an official World of Warships tournament that they partnered with Twitch or whatever. And I was on one of the teams for it, but teams were bigger than the number of players needed. Every single round, I ended up not ending up in the actual game, so I never actually played in the tournament. But my team still won it, so every member of the team still got it. So it's basically Luigi wins 5-0. Yes, exactly, Jimmy. Thing is with it's a little plush torpedo with the logo on it. But the thing is, it's a piece of merch they've never actually sold.
Oh.
Like,
Can you send
So
us
very few people actually have it.
Lucky few.
can you send us an image of what it looks like if it's
Probably.
okay?
Score it on my phone. I'm literally just, I pull it off and I'm just gonna take a picture of it from where I'm sat in my chair, so the angle's gonna be shit.
It'd be
I've
like
got
that.
it up on a shelf.
Be like that. So one person won a giveaway and won nothing out of it, and the other person technically won by doing absolutely nothing. Fucking brilliant. Meanwhile, me never participating in those kinds of things or getting any kind of shit like that.
Guess that means there's a lot of team skeletons.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
I tried a tricolor just now, but it's all team skeleton, so it doesn't really count against my score either way.
Oh.
Alright, did it upload? Didn't upload.
It did not. Negative.
There we go.
Interesting.
It's sideways because
little-
I took it in landscape mode and didn't auto rotate.
Oh, it's a little submarine. Or a torpedo.
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 With the World of Warships logo on it.
Pedo. Pedo. By non-Spanish speakers, pedo means fart.
It does.
So that's why I laugh. Like a little bitch. Because it's funny.
Hey.
Yeah, funny little...
If you want like funny, poorly named things, you have like the go-to like name for like specific hair soap in the US is shampoo, and sham is word for fake. So a valid translation of common American hair products is fake poo.
Ah. Nice. Funny.
Funny. Idea box. Do we want to do
We
the
can talk
first
about
thing on
the-
the list?
I was wanted to have Kila for that. We can talk about
How about the second thing on the
funny
list?
FNAF movie and how its history again repeating itself with movie adaptations.
Okay.
Because
Most movie adaptations have the tendency to be shit, so I wouldn't say it has that.
no, what I mean, Mina, is that it happened again because of the Mario movie. Critics giving it a really low score, but fans giving it a super high score. On Rotten Tomatoes. Like, the FNAF movie came out not that long ago. And in the Rotten Tomatoes, the critics score is it's fairly low. Meanwhile, the fan score is really high. Which is like, okay, then that movie was good because, you know, it went for the
It was
audience,
made
for the
its
audience.
target audience.
Exactly.
It was made for the target audience, yeah.
Which is good.
It's like the opposite of a while back. Like they did that little live action show, and basically all the fans are like, "This is a piece of shit." It's like, oh no, but it was supposed to be like targeting like a mass audience, which no one in a mass audience watched.
What, hold on, wait, what? Explain. What live action?
Fairly recently, like, I think it was like Paramount or whatever, did a live action, like, Halo short series.
Halo? Wait, Halo has
Yes.
a live
I do
action
remember that.
series?
Master Chief and the Soda. Yes, they did a live action series and it was terrible.
Oh. Whack.
Yeah. It's like, people are like, look, the special
the
effects,
trailer.
mostly pretty good. Like, the look of, like, Master Chief's armor, good. The characterization of the characters and the plot, not so much. Also, it was like the first episode. There's a scene like, oh no, the normal humans aren't doing anything, but the second Master Chief picks up the exact same gun, he immediately wrecks house.
Of course, it's Master Chief.
It's the same bullets.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if super soldiers carrying the gun. It
Exactly.
still does the same amount of damage.
Exactly, but they do not care because Master Chief. They put the Master
They
Chief
Also-
shoulder.
made him. They gave him fucking
They do not care because.
ultra
Also,
instinct
you know,
or
it's one of the
Kaioken, whatever
dumbest
fuck
things
it
though.
was.
Some people were
It's
complaining
super
about in that
realistic,
show.
Yeah.
No, not as much as when it happened in Star Wars. They had AK-47s show up, like not mocked up at all. And a lot of people were like complaining about that, but it's like, guys, canonically, the Master Chief's gun uses like AK-47 bullets.
762 by 43.
It uses 7.62 something or other because, you know, in the 26th century, that's apparently the best small arms technology humanity has. It's 7.62.
Oh, now I gotta see. What
It's
size
the
is
Halo-
ammunition?
Halo Assault Rifle Caliber.
No, it's gonna be 762
Yeah,
by
7.62.
762 by 39. Sorry. For those that don't understand caliber bullets when explained like that.
Okay, so the Halo Assault Rifle, I found it, doesn't use AK-47 bullets. It uses 7.62 by 51.
Oh,
But still,
they're wider.
it's using fucking 7.62. Oh, it's longer.
Oh,
7.62
longer.
by 51
Wait.
is longer.
Oh, I'm stupid. My bad. Right, it's width and then length.
It's using the NATO 7.62.
Ah. Of course, Marines.
So it's the gun that was used in the fucking M14. It's not even AK-40.
Well, there you
bullets,
go.
it's M14 bullets. That's even worse.
There you
It's
go. That's why
more
people were
powerful,
complaining.
but the M14 was a piece of shit. So, well, no, it's like, oh no, there's AK-47s. So, why are you complaining that there's AK-47s in what is canonically the middle of bumfuck nowhere, space?
Spam.
Who cares? The people who were complaining about it in Star Wars though were even dumber. It's like, oh no, just ignore the fact that Han Solo uses a broom handle Mauser pistol. All the stormtroopers are using fucking Stens. If they're not using Stens, they're using fucking either MG34s or Lewis gun.
Nope.
It isn't new.
True.
Except, you know, most of those stormtroopers, for the most part, just didn't have, like, magazines and things. Oh, Kid Icarus was raided with a party of one.
Thank you for the raid kit.
Yeah.
Should make this bigger.
Anyway, moving on from sci-fi, to everyone's favorite real-life spaceman, Elon Musk.
Ah, yes, Elon Musk's beef with Wikipedia. That is...
Elon Musk apparently has beef with Wikipedia.
Hell yeah, that sounds stupid as hell.
Beef with Wikipedia.
So, apparently, he doesn't like that they keep asking for donations.
Essentially a non-profit. What the fuck do you want them to do?
Yeah. So what he's done is he's offered them like if they agree to like the deal, whatever, a $1 billion donation. Sir, shouldn't you be spending that money to make Twitter not shit? He's offered them a $1 billion donation on the condition that for 1 year they rename Wikipedia to Dickipedia.
Oh my god, I heard about this.
He's like a third grader who has.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone agrees.
The intelligence of a third grader too. He has run his reputation into the fucking dirt.
Yes. Ever since the Twitter incident.
Oh, even a bit before that, but
Damn.
especially Twitter.
Yeah.
It's. I don't want to cure cancer. I want to ban people who make fun of me on the internet.
You know.
Spread Russian propaganda.
You know, like rich people usually do, except the Russian propaganda.
I saw a chart actually the other day. That was a chart of Twitter user creation data. There's a huge spike right as Russia invaded Ukraine, of all the Russian bot accounts getting created.
You know something that
Russia, huge number of Twitter bots.
Yep, of course they do. You know something that pisses me off on Twitter? The billion ads that I get for fucking NFTs. Stop! Each time I see it, I'm like, I don't want to watch this ad. And they're like, okay, we won't show this ad anymore. Scrolling a minute later. A minute later,
Honestly,
basically the same ad.
I saw a theory that one of the reasons Elon Musk originally wanted to buy Twitter was to basically turn into an NFT-based platform, and then NFTs died.
Bruh.
Sustainable.
They're not sustainable. They're stupid.
You get basically nothing for an NFT. What is...
They had value because people said they had value, and then everyone realized that was fucking stupid.
Exactly.
People knew from the beginning it was fucking stupid, but there were still some, you know, gullible motherfuckers. And these are the motherfuckers you do not want to have with any type of money.
Exactly. Because...
Nigerian prince.
Oh my god. The Nigerian prince conspiracy. Oh! She is here. Hello and welcome. Oh, I need to make you a little bigger. Welcome to the stream.
Squirtle Squad has arrived.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
stream,
How is
Kiva.
everybody?
We're doing fine. Ladies and gentlemen.
Doing all right. We were making fun of Elon Musk.
Oh, that's easy to do.
Yeah, for him wanting Wikipedia to rename themselves Dickipedia for $1 billion.
Yeah, and it's all because he can't control what they say about him.
Basically.
Honestly, if he honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's someone who significantly prefers Conservapedia. You remember that, Jimmy? I mentioned it a few weeks ago. That stupid site.
About Conservapedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's literally because he can't control what's said about him. He is really trying to take them down, and the whole process is that, you know, they ask for £2 when you go on to their site.
Yeah.
Just to kind of help with financial costs and whatever, and they're like, and he says, well, why do they need money if they're a community-based thing?
Servers.
Thing. They don't need money. Yeah. Employees.
You should know this, Mr. Twitter man.
I know Elon Musk doesn't like to pay his employees, but other people do.
Yeah, other people would like to pay employees.
Wikipedia, I don't think proper has like employees per se, but they have to maintain all their servers with all their countless pages and pages of data.
No, they have a handful.
They have a few employees, but it's their biggest cost is the servers. Servers are expensive.
Wikipedia keeps growing and expanding for what is on.
They're constantly growing, and they've got not only do have who knows how many number of pages, they've also got all those pages in who knows how many languages.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're paying their staff, and again, it's the fact that he can't control what's said on his Wikipedia page or on Twitter's now.
That's funny because Twitter is you know, should be his.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea. I should read Twitter's Wikipedia page. I'll add that on something on my list to do for later.
So, we were in the middle of speaking, but later... Oh, ads. I was going to introduce
I came in the perfect time.
Yeah, you came in the perfect time. Ads just started. We have a minute of ads. So we talked about Mina's grudge with Toonami and Adult Swim, and it turned out that she got scammed out of a raffle win. And then Meep told us the story of how he got something. And then Meep told us how he won by doing absolutely nothing on What a Funny Torpedo plushie. Nice. We also talked about the, non-spoiler, we just talked about how the FNAF movie is kind of repeating itself with the critics and the fans. Which, you know, makes sense, because if it's for a target audience, and the target audience likes it, then it's a good movie.
So I do have some nitpicks about the story itself.
Sure you do,
Somebody who's
but
been a long time FNAF viewer. Not like as a lore thing, right? I'm not gonna spoil anything, but as a like a story beats within the movie thing.
not the lore.
There was like a different change in the lore.
Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, please say a warm welcome to Kila. Okay, would you be so kind to introduce yourself to chat?
Yeah. There's not much to tell. I started on YouTube about 3 years ago. I stopped when I had a child, and I've been running around after him ever since. I do want to get back into streaming again. But I have a master's degree in sociology. I have spent my whole YouTube career anyway trying to debunk false science claims. And basically laughing at some of the bullshit that comes out of their mouth.
Very nice.
And that's pain right there.
Oh, one of the topics that we're going to cover today kind of comes within that wheelhouse, let's say.
Oh, which one?
The topic of the House Speaker.
Oh.
Ah, yes. This asshole.
Okay, let me start. Explain yourself.
Alright, let me pull up resources. So, new U.S. Speaker of the House. Let me make sure I get his name right.
It's not a difficult
Representative
name.
Representative Mike Johnson, Mike of Louisiana, great state of Louisiana, formerly France.
This guy is mental.
This man. So, for starters, on kind of why he was chosen, basically the consensus is he's only been in Congress for 6 years, so this is his third term.
Okay.
This is his third, or maybe it's fourth, I don't know. Yeah, fourth 2-year term in the House of Representatives, which means he's a noob, okay? He's not been around very long. And basically the consensus on why he got elected is because he's a noob, he hasn't pissed everyone off yet. All the other Republicans off enough, so basically everyone just decided to vote him in because they didn't hate him as much as anyone else.
Yeah,
because of course the Republicans are a very slim majority right now.
It would probably help for those who are not accustomed to American politics to explain why they needed a new speaker.
Oh, we've talked about this in over Roomba.
So people know, just so people know, yeah.
So recap. A couple weeks ago, the far right portion of America's Conservative Party threw a hissy fit and kicked the Speaker of the House, who is the person who is in charge of running the debates in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is the lower house of Congress, and that person is also, by the way, the third in line to become president if both the president and vice president die.
That just sends me shivers down me.
Yeah. So the previous speaker got kicked out, and then they spent 2 weeks or something getting a new one, and they've put Mike Johnson in the position. Now, this man has some political opinions. Yeah. So,
Well, it's putting it politely.
on his Wikipedia page, there's a subheading for political positions. The first one on here, by the way, is the 2020 election.
Oh boy.
Yes. He denies the validity of the 2020 election. He follows the Trump byline on that. And actually took a lot of action, basically trying to blah 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 cause problems with it.
Well, he drafted the amicus brief. He drafted. He helped draft it.
He drafted a legal document, basically saying Texas should be allowed to sue Pennsylvania over stuff. And then when it was time to certify it, he was one of the representatives who objected to the certifying of the election from Arizona and Pennsylvania. The New York Times called him, quote, the most important architect of the Electoral College objections. He supports a national abortion ban, and supports bills outlawing abortion both at fertilization and at 15 weeks. He argued that it is necessary to cut programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid because abortion reduced the labor force and thus damaged the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsored multiple bills attempting to ban abortion nationwide, which would impose criminal penalties, including potential prison terms of up to 5 years upon doctors who perform abortion. And he blamed abortions on, quote, the breakup of the nuclear family and for school
Mass shootings are
shootings.
caused by
What?
abortion, and the looting around Hurricane Katrina was caused by legalized gambling and 1960s feminism.
What?
Oh yeah.
He
Okay, so this man's a
questions the
gem.
He questioned the scientific consensus that climate change is caused by humans. He called the Green New Deal, the greedy new steel, and wind and solar, quote, the most ineffective energy sources we have, and claimed that living near wind turbines could cause depression and cognitive dysfunction.
Sorry, what?
Basically, give him about a week.
Oh, that's not even the worst of it. He's also...
He's not even done. I'm not even done.
Yeah.
Oh
okay?
my god.
He is one of the 47 lowest ranked U.S. conservatives on the environmental scorecard. He has received nearly $400,000 in donations from the oil and gas industry. Came to prominence in the 1990s when he and his wife appeared on television to promote new laws in Louisiana allowing covenant marriages under which divorce is much more difficult to obtain. And in 2005, promoted that thing, basically saying, no, man and woman shall marry and they shall not be able to divorce.
Yeah, he's against no-fault divorce. He's not against divorce, full stop. He's also...
That's
He's an
probably the same-
evangelical, right? So we all know how crazy
Yeah.
evangelicals can
We'll get
be.
to that later.
And he's anti-LGBT. He's anti-LGBT to the point where not only did he want to prosecute same-sex marriage, he also wanted to prosecute you if you had gay sex.
Actually, I'll skip down to that section, how don't I? Because that's a pretty beefy section.
Oh my god.
Long-term outspoken opponent of LGBT rights has called homosexuality, quote, sinful and destructive. He's argued that support for LGBT equality would lead to support for pedophilia. He wrote multiple opinion articles for a newspaper. One article he wrote something awful. Blah blah blah. Deep roots in religion, politics, and law. States have always maintained the right to discourage the evils of sexual conduct outside of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
For another article
And-
he called homosexuality inherently unnatural and a dangerous lifestyle.
Yeah.
He argued if it was out, that quote, then we would have to do it for every deviant group, polygamous, polyamorous, pedophiles, and others will be next in line to claim equal protection, including people want to marry their pets. Bruh.
Julia. Bruh.
Well,
In
as
2005, he campaigned against an annual anti-bullying day of silence, telling you that's cloaking the real message that homosexuality is good for society.
Huh?
Dude,
and that's just around
bullying
homosexuality.
has always existed.
He introduced an anti-LGBT act, which would prohibit federally funded institutions, including
Don't say
public
gay,
schools and
though.
libraries, from promoting or mentioning gender identity. Has been compared to the Florida "Don't Say Gay" Act. In 2019,
He wanted
Aired
just
some
to
committee.
go back on that. He wanted to expand it to every state,
Yeah.
and make it not just in certain areas, in all federal areas.
Hold on, wait.
criticized.
Hold the brakes for a moment. Before we go on with this gem of a man, because of course, I'm being very sarcastic. Can you guys explain to me what is not Don't Say Gay Florida Act?
So Don't
So
Say
that
Gay
was-
Act is a bill that you are not allowed to discuss your sexual preference or your gender identity
Or
in
the
public
existence
spaces.
thereof.
Yeah.
Or the fact those things exist.
Yeah.
Don't,
You're not
don't
allowed to
say
discuss
gay
them in a
bill was
classroom.
the
You're not allowed to discuss them anywhere in public.
the don't say gay
Oh my god.
bill is a nickname for it because it's not what it's actually called, but that it was called that by its
And
opponents.
that's one of the
basically.
reasons. That's one of the reasons why the state of Florida, in particular, is in a legal battle with Disney.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We've talked about this.
We've
Yeah,
done?
that's-
Done? Oh my god, my memory sucks.
Yeah. Ronnie D of Florida has gotten into beef with Disney over it. Let's see.
Okay. My god.
In 2019, the new Speaker of the House, Johnson, chaired some committee which published a statement criticizing the removal of clinical psychologist and conversion therapy advocate person from working on Amazon or something. Asserted that Amazon was engaging in censorship by declining to make their works available for sale. In 2023, the day he was elected Speaker, Human Rights Campaign President Kelly Robinson called him, quote, the most anti-equality speaker in U.S. history.
Wow.
And the reason. The reason why he came into my radar is because this guy is a constitutional lawyer, okay? Before he was elected, he would be advocating on behalf of creationist museums for tax breaks, and he wanted to federally fund Kent Hovind's Dino Land, a place where they say that dinosaurs existed on Noah's Ark.
We'll get to his evolution things in a moment.
It's
so
scary.
the
It's genuinely scary.
I'm confused. I'm confused and afraid.
Next bullet point on his Wikipedia page here is his opinions on Donald
You
Trump,
should
the Orange Man. In 2019, during the special counsel investigation, defended Trump by saying Trump had, quote, cooperated fully with the investigation and, quote, done nothing wrong. He also, during the first impeachment of Donald Trump, because of course Donald Trump got impeached twice, defended Trump and told the White House to ignore congressional subpoenas as, quote, legitimate executive privilege and legal immunity. He served as a member of Trump's legal defense during both 2019 and 2021 Senate impeachment trials, both of which acquitted Trump. Evolution! In 2016, Johnson delivered a sermon that called the teaching of evolution one of the causes of mass shootings.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Lord.
Foreign policy! Johnson has supported ending America's military aid to Ukraine, but after his election as Speaker of the House, said he was, quote, open to talks. He's also simped for Putin on several occasions. Israel-Palestine. Johnson visited Israel February 2020. Both Tribes One Foundation on a trip to the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Questioned whether Biden's proposed humanitarian aid would reach Gaza civilians, saying something about Hamas using the Palestinians as shields, blah blah blah. Immigration. Johnson supports Trump's 2017 executive order to prohibit immigration from 7 predominantly Muslim countries, saying, quote, this is not an effort to ban any religion, but rather an effort to adequately protect our homeland. Oh no. 2023, he voted for an amendment that would eliminate funding for immigration and refugee assistance.
Oh my god.
Medical marijuana.
What?
In 2016, Johnson opposed the expansion of medical marijuana in Louisiana, arguing that medical marijuana can actually worsen some conditions, specifically epilepsy, quoting the American Epilepsy Society studies that cause, quote, severe blah blah blah.
I
also
love the
calls
blah,
it-
blah, blah.
He also refers to marijuana as a gateway drug, Prayer in public schools. Joining Christian evangelicals, that guy to argue that the First Amendment for student-led prayer and religious expression in public schools. Blah blah blah. Honestly, that's not the worst. That's not too bad. A separation of church and state.
Oh, he does not want that. By hearing...
That's referred to, quote, so-called separation of church and state, asserted that, quote, the founders wanted to protect the church from an encroaching state, not the other way around.
Yeah. So
Wait,
basically,
hold on. Explain that, please. I am very lost. there.
Basically-
he wants the church to be able to influence the state, but the state not to be able to do anything to the churches.
So basically, he wants to separate the church from the government, but not the government from the church. So basically, it's a one-way separation. The government can't put its hands on the church, but the church should be able to put its hands on the government.
Oh, that sounds stupid. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not when it comes to evangelical fundamentalism. They want to be able to influence their government without their government being able to influence them or to detract from them in any way. So one of the things that, as I said, he did as a constitutional lawyer was to try and remove taxes and give further tax breaks to newly established churches, particularly Christian ones.
Yeah. Because
So it's-
obviously also the First Amendment freedom of religion only applies to your choice and your flavor of Jesus.
Yes. So he's not against.
So long as it's white Jesus.
Yeah, but that's the difference. So, so he does not want any influence over churches by the state. He doesn't want to pay taxes. He doesn't want them to be able to dictate what they proclaim, what they do in schools, and what they do in public. And yet, everything has to be run in the state like the church does. So anti-LGBT, anti-choice, absolute nihilism from a perspective of.
I would like to point out.
evangelicalism.
I would like to also point out on this fact. The wider Catholic Church is less anti-LGBT than the American Church. The Pope has called out the American Church to be like, guys, you're being too extreme on this. Calm down.
I mean, the Pope, the current Pope we have is a pretty cool
To which
dude.
some Americans have been like, who are you to speak with authority on this, Mr. Pope?
It's crazy the delusion they will put themselves under just to say that I'm right.
Yeah.
And final bullet point, by the way, on what
you're still
what
not
he has for
done?
his political position.
No.
Nope.
There's
Oh my
one
God.
more.
That's the one thing.
Social Security and Medicare, which are some of the few social programs the U.S. government has. In 2018, Johnson said that, quote, entitlement reform, which is social Security and stuff, is his number one priority, adding that cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the interest on the debt have to, quote, happen yesterday because they're an existential threat to the American experiment.
Mm-hmm. He's also against a minimum wage or a living wage.
That.
He
He's also
is.
against unions. He's also against
Real
protection, any
piece of work.
protections for workers at all, because again, it calls into question the purity
A
of
bottom
the
line,
American
a
experiment.
corporate donor.
He called.
I would like to point out, most of even the Republican electorate in the United States these days is pro-union.
Hmm, I'd say
They've done
not.
studies. It's admittedly it's a much smaller majority than of Democrat voters, but in general,
Nope. That's.
carte blanche, U.S. population is generally more pro-union than
I could
anti-union.
imagine that. I could imagine that if it's the population, yes. But the problem
like,
with the US, the problem with the US, although it's held up as this bastion of democracy, it was
And
never a
freedom.
democracy to begin with.
No.
It was never supposed to be a democracy.
What was it supposed to be then? Someone please
It's
explain
a
to me.
Democratic Republic.
A limited republic.
Ah.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a republic,
Well, a constitutional
but also
republic. And because of the
Constitutional
electoral
republic.
college, because the electoral college system, it'll never be a a democratic.
To be fair, most quote-unquote democracies are some form of republic. But even with that in mind, due to the way the Electoral College was especially initially structured,
Was designed, yeah.
it was heavily biased. One, you could only vote if you were white and owned property and were a man. But even ignoring that, the system is the other problem it has is they haven't increased the size of the Congress in like 100 years, which means the Electoral College system has gotten really out of whack, and also the amount of congressmen per people has gone way down. Especially like California.
There is a question about the Electoral College. How many presidents in the last 30 years have actually been elected, has won the popular vote?
Not a single GOP one.
No, that's what I find funny. But like, you talk to most Americans and they're like, we are the beacon of democracy. You were never a democracy to begin with.
You're a republic.
The thing is, also, for context, it's California compared to Wyoming is like 39 Californians to 1 Wyoming person is the political ratio for voting power, effectively.
Yeah.
Also, Puerto Rico, fuck you, you don't get to vote for president. Either do any of the other U.S. territories, except for D.C.
Wait, Puerto Rico?
Yep.
Territory. So is Guam.
Yep. Guam, American Samoa,
Oh.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
So,
all the U.S. territories, apart from Washington, D.C., do not have a vote for president. And including D.C., they have no voting power in Congress.
I'm surprised they're still called the Virgin Islands and not just the islands. Considering how the Americans can be.
Named by someone else.
I know.
The impact this guy is going to have in relation to how debates are structured, how they're formed, who gets what out of what deal, it's terrifying.
For context, by the way, the main power of the U.S. Speaker of the House is they get to decide which items get voted on by the House. There's like a big box that has like the big list of things for the House to debate, and the Speaker of the House gets to choose the order of that list.
Yeah. Can I also mention that he has never actually gotten a bill that he's co-written through the House?
Bruh.
Yeah.
And reminder,
like
the
15
U.S.
years.
needs to
In
get
15
its...
years, he's never gotten a bill through the House. And now he's f***ing leader of it. The House Speaker.
And they chose this guy because he's not hated?
Right, so the reason why
because among the politicians in the House of Representatives from Team Red, he has not made any enemies among them.
Yeah, so if you look at there was only 3 other candidates after McCarthy was ousted by hardliners or MAGA supporters, if you want to.
Which, by the way, if the U.S. was even like a functional republic, the MAGA would have split off as its own separate party. Because the way the Electoral College is structured, it is a 2-party system.
Mm-hmm. But like you had Scalise and you had Emmer, and both of them dropped out. Emmer after 4 hours, I think, and both of them were number 2 and number 3 to McCarthy already. So the MAGA supporters, the hardliners, were never going to vote for them because they were seen as too moderate. They were too close to McCarthy, and why should they get promoted when they were following the person that they already these guys ousted? Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan has a list almost as long as Mike Johnson, and even worse, because this guy, when he was in education,
he was a teacher?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He covered up essay or against over 170 students in wrestling by the doctor. And then not only that, the Supreme Court as it stands, right? There's a court case pending against the Ohio. And this guy, Jim Jordan, went to the brother of a victim and begged him to refute his brother's claims. And what's remarkable is the Supreme Court, as it stands, with all of the MAGA supporters that's on there at the moment, have refused to block the transition of that court case.
So it's gonna
Because
happen eventually.
the Team Red also packed the court by abusing their control of the Senate.
Mm-hmm. But even
Because-
with that, he is facing a court case on his role in that cover-up of rape, essentially, of underage children.
Oh my god.
On a wrestling team.
All Team Red are pedophiles. You need to remember that.
Ah.
Well, not
Is-
all, well,
Among the professional politicians at least, which, by the way, recently there was a poll that was done by some group in the U.S. on like the U.S. Population's faith in the political system, which, by the way, is at an all-time low. And when asked what they thought the largest issue with the U.S. political system is, 1/3 of respondents said politicians.
Yes.
yeah.
I am.
Because we have people like this asshole, and then one of the current people running for the Team Red presidential ticket for the next election, Ronnie D. of Florida,
Oh, we've heard of him.
the man behind the Don't Say Gay bill and the feud with Disney, as one of his campaign promises is to abolish the Department of Education.
I mean, he can't actually do. And here's the crux with the presidency. They don't have as much power as people think they do,
And no, the president doesn't actually have that much power.
and yet they have more power than I'm comfortable with.
It's the president's power, as written, basically enforce the laws. You're the commander-in-chief of the military when that's needed. And when Congress isn't in session, you kind of keep the country running, because that's actually a full-time job. And you have the power to pardon people.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to nominate judges, which then have to be approved by Congress. And the Supreme Court justices as well. That's basically the extent of the president's powers. However, it's kind of ballooned, and the president effectively acts to direct their party in Congress to get their policies done. And
If your mind is blown by all of this, yeah, welcome to the last 15
We're
years
tired
of my life.
and
I'm just. It's not like my mind's blown. I'm just fucking spooked. I'm scared.
the thing you have to keep in mind, Jimmy, is the American democratic system, the American Republic, is one of the oldest of such systems still in operation, which means its rules are very old and don't have very much benefit of hindsight. And a lot of them were written, especially the Electoral College, when the fastest internet was a guy on a horse you had to cross your fingers didn't die on the way.
Okay, that's
Keeping in mind, even though the US was a lot smaller than it is now when it was established, it was still basically the entire eastern seaboard.
yeah, that's
Which
still
north
pretty
to
big.
south is basically the distance from Helsinki, Sevastopol, if not more.
Oh jeez.
It is huge compared to
Long.
the Europe. Yeah, it's
Just reading it. Mike Johnson once said towards Obama, or under Obama, truth has been replaced by the greatest virtue in society, tolerance. He thinks truth and tolerance are enemies.
What?
Yeah.
That makes no. Okay,
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Can we move on, please?
Yes, please, let's move on.
Please. I know. Like it sounds very awkward to
Always
ask
have
for
to
that,
look-
but I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck to say. I am
Nailing coffin right there.
Yeah,
It-
sometimes
Just
you
it-
don't
Rescue
discuss the
Pache.
person. You can't stay here too long.
okay. Let's go to something.
I would like
Still
to point
American.
out this man is not the craziest Republican in Congress.
He's
Moving
not the
on.
craziest, not even close.
So there's something I wanted to ask because specifically for the Americans, I think Keelan will also help with this. What the fuck are credit scores?
Or something that the bank
Bullshit.
keeps track of. It's basically how likely you are to pay something back.
Yeah, there's it's the way in which they calculate your ability to pay back a loan. Is essentially what they are.
Oh.
It's
So
basically
you get
the
you get
banks.
you get the credit report, and then there's the credit score. So think of the report as the kind of test, and the score is your result from the test.
By
Okay.
the way, there's 3 of them.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and they're different.
Oh.
Basically, it's
Jesus.
basically a
They're trying to
complicated
consolidate
way that the banks have developed as a way to basically rate individuals on how risky it is to loan to them based on how likely they are to be able to pay it back.
Okay.
So basically, with a higher credit score can get loans easier and at lower interest rates because it's seen as a safer investment by the bank.
Yeah.
Ah.
So your credit score is usually between like 300 and 700 plus. And the closer you are to 300, so 300 to 500 is seen as bad credit, which means you are not going to get a loan, you're not going to get a mortgage, you're not going to get a credit card. And then 500 to about 650 is fair credit, where they want to see more, or if you have a short history, so young people, for example. And then good credit means you might get a loan, you might get a credit card. You're a bit out there in terms of a mortgage, you're a bit risky. And then from 700 on, then you are a healthy person to invest in. You're most likely to repay your debt.
Jesus Christ.
That's basically it. Now what they're trying to do in the last year or so is bring in a new credit score system.
Okay.
Meep, have you been looking into this?
I have not heard about this.
Right. So what they're trying to do now, it's states centric, to be honest. What they're trying to do, mainly because Europe doesn't have healthcare debt.
You know,
in
because
terms
we
of
usually
household-
have free healthcare.
Yeah. But
Thank you,
in
Kentucky
the
Fried
States,
Chicken.
obviously, they pay for healthcare. So what the credit system is trying to do now is trying to remove healthcare debt from your credit score. Not from your credit report, but from your score. They're trying to add in your rent history. So especially for young people who can't afford a mortgage or who haven't inherited anything, for poor people, rent history is going to be important.
Oh yes, because of course, as with everything, if you're born rich, you're better off.
Yeah,
From the outset.
The third thing that you're trying to bring into your score is trended data. So what that means essentially is the last 24 months of your credit history. So what they used to do is put it into the report, but it was not kept in your score. And this is the difference between a credit report and a credit score. And then the last one, the final one that you're trying to bring in is a scored card segmentation.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what that means is that you are going to be grouped, whether it be minorities, whether it be age. They're going to bring in all of these different groupings that they're going to put people in.
Wouldn't that be? I may be talking shut on my ass because I'm not the most skilled. Wouldn't that be a little bit segregationist, like splitting everyone to groups depending on their age, for example?
That's why they're calling it
because
segmentation, because they're warning you about the reason why. Okay, so what they're trying to do, or what they're trying to say, is that by segmenting people, or segmenting people, young people who are the future of borrowing are not up against well-established older people, and so can get more of a fairer hearing.
Okay.
Ranking tournaments.
Yeah, basically, in the last 20 years, how you kickstart an economy is you have investors. In the last 20 years, well, since the economic crash in 2007, 2008, investors have been on strike. They will not invest in new people, they will not invest in new businesses, or they're very, very hesitant unless they're already well established. So the banks are looking at new ways to create credit and to create funds, because the way in which a bank operates is it operates based on loans. And that's how they, because of the Glass-Steagall Act that was removed in the 90s, I think 1999, basically financial institutions are allowed to merge. So you have the bank on the high street merging with banks that deal with businesses. Before 1999, from 1934 to 1999, they were not allowed to do that. And so basically what it means is the debt that you take out as a private individual, as a household, now at the moment in the States, that's 17 trillion per household. Yeah. 17 trillion household debt. I apologize. Altogether, it's 17 trillion household debt.
I was like, what?
Apologies. That'd be a bit excessive. So what they do is they take your loan. They take the loan that this is a credit default swap. They take your loan and they sell it on to another investment firm.
Yeah.
And then they take out a bet whether or not you're going to repay that debt. But someone else is now responsible for that debt, not the institution that initially loaned it. And this is why we're seeing a lot of the issues concerning mortgage debt, because they took these debts, consolidated them with different types of debt, and then they sold them on to an investment firm. Does that make sense?
Sort of? I'm trying to wrap
so-
my head about it. No, it's okay. You're explaining yourself very well. I'm just sometimes not good at understanding shit.
But the investment firm then demanded their money from the initial people who took out the loan.
But they can't give it back the money, which means that
Exactly.
they can't get the money to... And it's all just a
Hence the
downward
downturn, the
spiral.
economic crash. Yeah. That's what happened. That's what happened in
That was the
2008.
2008 crash?
Yep.
But it's cycling again. It's recycling because all of these people were given 120% on, well, a lot of these people were given subprime mortgages or 120% loans on their mortgages. And then they took them and they sold. Now, some of them are still being in the process of defaulting. And so what the banks are trying to do now, or the credit systems are trying to do now, is they're trying to get young people who were affected by the crash initially to see taking out loans as a good thing, just like in the 90s. In the early 2000s, take out a loan, it's safe. We fixed the problems. There's no cracks anymore. Just keep taking out loans so we can sell
It
them
won't
on.
fuck
and
you
make
over
money.
again.
Yeah,
But
give us
what
money.
will happen?
it's essentially that's exactly what's happening at the moment, and that's why they're trying to bring in these new segments, because young people at the moment, especially poor young people,
We see
have
loans
been
as
blocked
the
out.
most dreaded thing.
Hmm?
We see loans as the most fucking awful thing to ever happen to you. It's too risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I've
what they're trying to
been...
do.
Something that I've noticed a lot on TV, I don't know if you guys have, at least what I've seen in Spain, a lot of, like, loaning ads, like, oh, get 3,000 euros without any interest. And then if you read the...
That's something different
Read the fine
entirely.
print.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like payday loans, which are
Yeah.
very different and far more predatory.
Oh.
Yeah, those will.
Okay,
If you
so-
really want fucking predatory loans in the U.S., bail bonds.
Yep, bail is fucking expensive. So
Because
try not
in
to
the
make-
U.S., in the United States, if you can't afford to post bail, don't worry. There are people who are willing to loan you money so you can do it.
Yeah, but
And
then...
if you skip out on repaying
No, and
those
if you
people,
won't have the money
God
to
help
pay
you.
it back.
It's one of the reasons some places in the U.S. are trying to get rid of cash bail.
Cash bail for
What's it
prison?
Yes.
For people who have been accused but not convicted.
Okay.
This is the way bail works: is
Yeah.
you've made your first court appearance, the judge, if the judge decides you're not a flight risk, you're not at risk of causing more problems, like, all right, post bail, you can be released back into the population. Here's your next court date. Don't cause
Aye.
problems. If you can't afford to post bail, guess what? You get to sit in jail until your trial, which can be over a year.
In prison
mean,
for something that you might have
You're
not done.
You're not convicted yet. You're not convicted yet. You're
Yeah,
still
so
considered
that's-
innocent by the system.
Yeah, that's a whole different kettle of fish, and as you said, predatory,
Woo!
disgusting. Ugh. But in terms of the official credit system, you can be so screwed over by
Because
the
if you
system.
can't post bail, you can't get
if
out of
you-
jail. If you can't get out of jail, you can't go to work. And even if you're innocent, you're still fired.
But with
The-
this,
but
with this,
also-
though, you may never be able to rent. You may never be able to have a mortgage. If you have bad credit, especially in the States, you can't rent in a decent area.
Also, isn't credit in the U.S. tied to your social security number,
It is,
which
yeah.
is a non-secure system?
It's not just in the States. In Ireland, they do the same thing. In the UK, they do the same thing. They essentially tie it to your public number.
Oh yeah, Kila.
Well, the thing is, with the U.S., the social security number in the U.S., not just that it's the public number, it's non-secured. It's not supposed to be an identification thing for used this way.
That is true.
It's until like 2008 or something, relatively recently, it was literally just a number where it literally just counted up. Like there are, like, for most of history, you could just add one, subtract one for your number, and you'd probably get someone who was born in the same hospital as you.
Yeah.
It would be a valid number.
Yeah.
They only
And
started
there
scrambling it a bit
are-
recently.
There's instances where people have had bad credit scores because somebody else with the same name didn't pay their phone bill once, and so now they
Oh, yeah,
can't
that too.
rent a
It's
The
place.
terrifying.
credit score agencies in the U.S. are basically unregulated.
Yeah.
John Oliver did a segment on this.
He did. Actually, he did.
Yeah, he did. Watch that for more context on this, because I want to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's essentially what it is. Sorry.
Okay. No, thank you for the explanation. I am now more clever. I am slowly gaining a brain cell. Do we want to talk? We talked about the credit scores. We talked about the Elon Musk beef. We talked the U.S. Speaker of the House. We talked about the grudge. We talked about its history. Mina, cat being arrested.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't even watch the video.
Oh,
Come on and slam. Welcome to Japan.
yeah. Yes. Hold on. Let me see.
Breaking news, and then I can't really read it.
Fair enough.
Basically, a cat got arrested for breaking labor law in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gave it
Posing as a manager.
tiny fucking spouses? No, spouses wife.
Handcuffs.
Handcuffs. Thank you. It's like in Spanish it's like esposas, which is the same thing as to say wives, for some reason.
I feel like there's some commentary there.
Yeah.
No, it's basically, what was it? The cat was named as the manager and was sitting on people and trying to get cuddles and stuff, and it was seen as the cat was keeping them at their posts and preventing them from going on break and stuff.
They were not allowed to leave as soon as the cat sat on them, basically.
Yeah.
He's also been guilty of manipulating treats out of their hands.
It's a cat, for crying out loud.
Still an employee.
I do hope that was a piss take because Christ.
Let's go with something more internet related, which kind of pisses me off. The Sniper Wolf incident. Do you guys know what the incident is?
Yeah.
I do.
Meep? Oh, Meep's muted. Okay, so we all know what
I have
happened.
no idea.
Okay, so, long story short. I'm pretty sure this is a YouTube Kids content creator too, which is
Mhm.
even more cringe. Sniper Wolf.
So she's had a criminal record before this.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I knew what I read from Twitter, and by the looks of it, basically what happened is this quote unquote content creator, which she just does reaction content, sometimes not even posting the original video for you to watch. Oh, what's his name again? Jack.
Jack's Games.
Thank you. Jack's Games did a parodied Sniper Wolf, and what she did was, I think, a post on Instagram doxing the man just because he parodied her content. And all they both got, pretty sure it was for both of them.
No. He didn't parody, and it's
Okay, I guess I'm explaining myself like shit. Do you know better what happened then? Help.
as a YouTube creator and someone who has been doxxed. I've
Wait,
been
you have?
I've been paying close attention to this.
Okay, please explain.
Right. So basically, what happened was Sniper Wolf came under fire from not just Jack's Games,
Jack's Films.
Jack's Films.
Jack's Films. Sorry, Jack's Films. Not just Jack's Films, but a myriad of creators. Because what she was doing was she was stealing content. She was taking content from other creators, uploading it to her TikTok and Instagram. Sometimes, as you said, she wasn't even posting anything over it. She was just uploading it and getting monetization from it. He criticized that.
She was also cutting out the username, so there's no
Yeah.
way to credit the creators. Not even on TikTok. You know how they say usually they put the username of the original creator at the end. Yeah, she would cut that out, or she would crop videos so that you couldn't see the
basically
usernames.
taking credit for other people's work. And so there was a few people who came out and criticized her for that. Jack's Films is one of those creators who really did a deep dive on her and several videos detailing where and when she's done this. And what she did was she posted on Instagram saying, should I go to his house? It's about 10 minutes from my shoot. Whatever shoot that she was doing at the time. The next one was about half an hour later, where she was outside his home.
She posted on her 5 million follower account a picture of Jack's Films home, and Jack saw this on stream. His reaction is now found on the internet, and he's instructing his wife to not go outside because SS Sniper Wolf does have a history and criminal record of assault.
Yeah.
And all of this came all of this came about after her, or with the news of her lawsuit, because she's under a lawsuit from her partner, or her ex-partner now, because he has come out saying, yes, she did fake her gameplay footage, that was my gameplay footage, and she just reacted to that.
Yeah. But she was outside his home saying, let's settle this as adults. Now, her sister went on her Instagram after the big crap that happened, and said, what's he so afraid of? Doesn't he know how to fight?
What?
Yeah.
But
Now-
he's fighting you, that's the thing.
No, this is somehow
This is the
The
sister of Sniper
second-
Wolf.
only the second worst instance involving a content creator's house that I've heard of this year.
Wait, what was the first one?
There was an Australian YouTuber who apparently their house got firebombed.
Oh, that's right, because they're an investigative journalist.
Yeah, they were an
Oh.
investigative journalist investigating corrupt government officials. The thing is, apparently that one, the people firebombed the wrong house, then came back the next night and firebombed his house.
Well, right. So, Bolchu
thing
says
is,
let's
Leela
settle
has-
this as adults. The other party involved pretty much always devolves into being handled except as an adult. Right. Well, right. So the issue with it was, he was criticizing her for a while. She decided to show up outside his house, take photos of the front of his house, put it on an Instagram. 5 million people, over 5.6 million at the time, seeing it and basically inciting other people to go to his house, essentially. And that's not handling things as an adult.
No, that is handling things as a 5-year-old with a fucking baby rage.
Things as a
Jack-
5-year-old. 5-year-olds. The 5-year-olds that I work with don't do that. They'll aim below the belt, but they won't go for the fucking dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Jack and his wife were in the house at the time that she was filming this, and he was, as Mina said, was on a live stream. Now, if you look at the footage, it was other people that were like, "You're not going to believe what she's done." And
Yeah, he was on a call with
when
several other-
talking about handling things as an adult, he shut that stream down. He didn't go into the whole thing. He didn't try to sensationalize it. He was like, right, I need to shut this live stream down. I need to find out what's happening. I need to respond to it
You know, like an adult would.
I would have
as an adult.
I would have called police.
Probably, yeah.
Let's for everyone involved. Let's be thankful that I assume this wasn't an American house.
Yes, it
I
was.
think it was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's be glad it wasn't a Texan house.
Wasn't it?
I think it was.
I have no idea.
But yeah,
I think he was. I
it's
think he was in LA.
I think so. I just want to explain from my own personal history how dangerous it is to dox people. A few years ago on YouTube, there was a content creator. I'm not going to name who they were.
They don't deserve it.
I called them out for being a shitty person. They faked cancer. They admitted to faking cancer. I had them on to try and explain all of their lies. And their ex-friends, who were pissed off that I had her on, then decided to dox me. And what happened was people showed up outside my mum's house, took photos of my mum's house, and sent them to me.
Sorry, dude. That's terrible.
I didn't know who these people were.
Scum of the earth.
I didn't know what they were capable of. There were 2 young children in the house. And when you incite your followers, you have no idea what your followers are capable of. So yeah, you're not responsible for your for the people that watch your stuff or who are friends with you online. You have no idea what they are capable of. And that's just, and I'm tiny compared to the likes of Jack and Sniper Wolf. My YouTube has about 2,000 people on it. Tiny. And yet these trolls, these dangerous people, I don't know who they were, decided to come to my mum's house to threaten my family.
I would hope that your mum has moved to a different location at this point. I know
She
it's been.
hasn't. She hasn't. She has to stay in that house.
Hello, Game and Wolf. Yes, we are talking it seriously because it is a serious matter that needs to be talked seriously. I do not like joking about this kind of shit. Like,
There's no
This
joke
part
about
is that
it.
we are treating this more seriously than YouTube themselves.
yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and the reason
You know,
why
that says something about YouTube.
Yes.
well,
and Google.
YouTube is
Again-
always going
and
to
again,
put
this-
money above their creators.
Mhm.
They always
The other
have.
thing
They
is, keep in
always
mind,
will.
YouTube is owned by Google, and Google's favorite thing is Google is an information broker.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care that people are posting people's private information because that's their fucking business is people's information.
Yeah.
It also. Sorry.
Go on.
Okay, so what I've also learned later on, she was also being called out for weird videos of Omegle in her YouTube that she had been taking down.
So I do remember that. I saw a
What's
Tozy
funny
about it.
about Sniper Wolf was, I don't know if you remember it, Mina, but a few years ago she got into some serious debacles. First with
The cancer
Girl
child.
Gone Gamer, where she called out this woman for not actually playing, just reacting to someone else's playing, which is what Sniper Wolf was doing.
Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Worse still was Enigma-Hood. I don't know if you know Enigma-Hood, and I remember this very, very clearly. He was again criticizing her under the fair use, just like Jack is doing now. And she DCMA'd him. She basically copyright struck his channel. No, that's not even the worst part. So when you copyright strike someone on YouTube, in order to dispute the copyright, so let's say
private information.
Yeah, you have to give all of your private information. She took that information and doxed him to 3 million people.
Oh my God.
And not only did she dox him on that video, she said he was a registered sex offender.
Bruh.
There is no record of this man ever engaging in anything like it.
How is this woman no
Leela is
Let me guess.
platform.
She then. Wait, hold on. And let me guess. Also, because of the way YouTube's DMCA system works, she then
probably.
rejected his dispute.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of course on YouTube, the person who files the copyright claim is the person who gets to decide whether or not your dispute on the claim is valid or not.
Not
Even
a
when they-
third party, which would make more sense.
Yeah. Or YouTube themselves. Nope. You get to be judge, jury, and executioner. Literally. Because copyright strikes can literally kill a channel.
Yeah.
Shout out to that one time I got copyright strike.
If you
the-
get three, if you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel is gone.
Yeah.
Everything is deleted. You have
Music labels are infamous for abusing the system. They're not the only ones by any means.
There are
Yeah.
also third parties that will claim to have copyright to a project
Yeah.
when they had nothing to do with it, and YouTube doesn't snoop that. However, back to the topic of Leela. She's unhinged, and she's self-serving. She's definitely one of those like girls in high school that fucked around but never found
She's a
out,
person
and it
who's
was
a
always
Karen.
infuriating.
Oh, she's worse.
Yeah, she's a Karen.
She's worse.
Shout out to that one time on Kids' Choice Awards, she won Gamer of the Year, even though at that point she had not been gaming, and she apparently never has been gaming.
Exactly. When she had the initial.
She's a Karen with a following, the most dangerous of Karens.
Oh God.
When she initially had the spat with Enigma-Hood, again he was criticizing her. There's a difference between criticism and harassment. I will say that.
She
So
still
she
says
said
it's
you
harassment.
can't just take someone else's content, re-upload it, and
Girl.
monetize it. That was her words.
Get your head out your ass. I know you have absolutely no brain cells.
Oh, I'm being
That is a direct quote from that video. I have seen it myself. You can't just take someone else's content, re-upload it, and monetize it. Which is exactly what she's doing, which is exactly what Jack criticized her for, and now she's doxed him because of it. And what's
She's
worse
doxed-
is he's paying the price. Have you
YouTube
noticed
claimed
that?
they would
And the isn't that the
demonetize
whatever
her,
calling
that
the
ended
whatever
up not
slimy?
happening,
They demonetized.
Sorry, I'm back. My,
which
my
is
father
dumb.
called me.
Jack's had nothing to do with it.
So now, Jack has gotten his monetization back, but for a full week, they had demonetized both.
Even though what Jack was doing was not harassment, he was making critique based on a video, and also his parody actually has more fair use. His Jack's Films channel,
Mhm.
that one that was parodying Sniper Wolf, was more compliant to fair use than Sniper Wolf's videos, because he offered criticism even though he had the same blank vacant stare, not only because it can be licensed as parody of her channel, but also in some of the videos he would find the original creators of the videos and he would credit them in the channel. So it was transformative in that way. He was correcting a mistake that, honestly, it's not a mistake, her intentional theft.
Well, I mean, I think because of what Sniper Wolf did and the criticisms that she's come under fire for, initially that sparked the doxing, and because of the doxing reaching fever pitch now, they're actually coming down hard on all reaction channels.
So
Oh,
there's very little that you can get from a reaction channel unless you're using it to watch the full video for free, like a full movie.
It depends. It depends. It's not just movies though. It's music.
It's not just movie,
There are there are some music that will break down the musicality for you,
Yeah,
while
no,
they're reacting to it, and they're quite
I feel
useful. They
like
are quite
at
entertaining to
that
watch.
point, that's not a reaction.
That's an
That's
analysis channel.
They're an
Yeah, that's
analysis,
an
but
analysis channel.
they're under
YouTube's
the same thing on
categorizing them as
YouTube.
the same thing.
Yeah, they register them as a React channel. They're all under the one umbrella.
because like there is a very very stark difference between the analysis, and I wish that YouTube had a CEO that actually fucking cared instead of another NFT bro. But regardless, I wish they had more like looking into channels, because there's a difference between, oh, this is why this chord and this chord make you feel such emotions for music or for like movies, of this is why this works and this is how they did special effects on this one. Much more different than Leela just going, wow, that's crazy at every fucking video in a
And she's not the
compilation
only
video.
one doing it. That's the point.
She is not.
As Jack actually pointed out in one of his videos, that took his
Yes.
own video and then re-uploaded it.
What?
Another good example of that kind of being done well is like the people who react to people doing Pokemon Nuzlocke runs, like and like critiquing the runs and offering pointers for people to improve the Nuzlocke runs. Like I know there was
Analysis.
one
Basically Pokemon challenges.
Pokemon challenge, like the Archie game reacts to Pokemon challenges reactions to Archie game.
Oh, I love those. I think someone apart from RT did that, and that is hilarious. But at the same time, it's like they're doing it, like Pichel is doing it, like, you know, as a criticism, it's like, and to help people out. Sometimes the others like to see what they did wrong. Other times it's just to get a laugh out of it, because
and
Pokemon challenges gets really serious about this shit.
back to Leela.
And then you have like it then feeds back in like how you had the Jade Animations one where they had Pokemon challenges be the name of the rival
Yeah.
But
because he'd critiqued both
and I
her
think,
and
that comes
Alfred's
to the heart
runs.
of fair use, though. At what point are you allowed to take someone else's content or to say take someone else's work, and put it onto a channel that you have monetized? And this is the big question: are you profiting from someone else's work? There are React channels that do that. There are React channels not just on YouTube, but TikTok, Instagram, the whole lot, that do profit from other people's work. When you're criticizing the likes of Jack and the likes of Enigma-Hud, who was the initial critiquer, what a lot of people do now is when they don't understand the differences between criticism and harassment. Criticism is breaking down what you're doing or what you're saying bit by bit and saying, this is where you as the content creator, as someone in the public eye, should be doing different.
Harassment is criticism I don't like.
Yeah. Harassment is attacking
Critique.
someone's character, attacking someone's person, not what they're doing. You know, so you'll always see, in politics, for instance, you'll always see someone saying, well, she doesn't look right, or she's a nasty woman, because they can't tackle their arguments. So they attack their appearance. They attack...
The logical fallacy.
Yeah.
It's like I actually have saved on my computer a thing for logical fallacies that's specific ones. Where is it?
Argumentation book somewhere.
Logicalfallacy.jpg, and it's like the
You can send it over and I can post it on the
computer
Roomba.
error. Logical fallacy / Godwin's law. You have invoked Hitler / Nazis inappropriately. The argument is over. You are the loser. Everyone else is smarter than you. Apologize. Unsubscribe. Surf point.
Sniper Wolf tried
I forgot I was part of that.
Sniper Wolf tried to say that this guy has been harassing me for months online on YouTube, and then cries victim. There's a difference between Jack criticizing what she's doing and her going to his house and showing everyone where he lives.
That's
and inciting
criticism.
5 million people to potentially go to his home and threaten his family. Big difference.
Yeah, no, Leela's cringe as fuck. And then The people who are in her defense are like, she's such a nice person. No, she's not. She let a child die of cancer without ever fulfilling her wish. Nothing about Layla has ever been kind or nice, and I still don't see why people find her appealing, other than her looks. But even then, it's just kind of mid.
Yeah. Essentially.
People,
It's
can I for a
if
moment
we
be-
can. All right, okay, Jimmy, you first, then me.
Okay. Something I hate saying these kinds of things, but modern society has slowly becoming a society that takes women over a lot of things. I know I may sound really stupid, but like the more I think about it, and the more I'm talking to like when I talk to my mom and my sister, they're two really strong women. I know this. They're Spanish women, and they're very strong. And they're like, I talk to them. I love talking to them. And everyone in this household realizes like, we're getting to a point where women are doing things that they know they can get away with because they're women. Because society has gone to
But they always have.
yeah, but it's even more so recently with the internet and simps. The concept of a simp and a like diehard fan is something that, at least from my perspective, appeared from people going to extremes about their favorite stars, movie star, music star, whatever you may call it, and a lot of these people are single men that have nothing else in life better to do than go fucking balls to the walls for a female actor, writer, songstress, whatever you may call it.
I'm gonna go into Bows versus the World Logic. If you haven't seen her on Twitch or YouTube, definitely check her out because she breaks down some true crime through the lens of somebody who's gone through some of the similar mental health issues. For a lot of these people, when you do something terrible in the name of some person, that person gives you purpose. Because before that, you had absolutely nothing going on. And that's super dangerous. It's dangerous to not have a purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of the reasons why, to go political, but a lot of reason why terroristic groups will try and seek out vulnerable people who are just floating through life, not sure what they want to do. Which is a wild fucking step from as a sniper bolt, but I digress.
Yeah,
People
no,
who
but
are given up.
It's
like
desperation to be accepted, really. We are a
it's
social
desperation to
creature.
be in a group.
Yeah.
For instance, Bose talked about the Grand Theft Auto case, where a guy who was obsessed with anime, who had a porn obsession, he killed his family because they blocked his interactions with a girl named Addie, who was a cam girl. Because he used to belong to this group called Addie's Knights, who were the people who would donate the most money to her, and being blocked off from that group made him so obsessive and lose his identity and purpose of being subservient to Addie that he killed his family. He killed his mom and his dad and one of his brothers.
Parasocial relationships are awful.
yes.
Oh,
They
don't even
are.
get me started on parasocial relationships. Jesus Christ.
Maybe for
Yeah.
another time. We
Speaking of
are.
the internet. Shall we
Welcome.
move on to Christian?
Yeah, let's move on to Christian. Actually,
Hold on, I had one more
Well-
thing I wanted to say on like the reaction videos
Go ahead.
thing. On like my opinion, like how it is. Like on one end of the spectrum, you have the reaction channels. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's me and the boys. We're here. We're gonna watch Russian Badger enjoy." And it's just a video of them watching Russian Badger and laughing and occasionally adding a quip. On the other, and sort of also in that vein, but I see it kind of different, are like the channels where it's like the meme compilations or like the Reddit
yeah.
top Reddit from this subreddit of the month. So I kind of see those differently, because that's also like and like sort of an archival thing at the same time because of the way Reddit works. I don't know. I see that kind of separate from the YouTube ones, but then on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, you have people like Pokemon challenges and such who do they have someone else's video as the core of it. However, they're adding to it and they're doing contribution, critique, and all that. That's also where you, and arguably even like past that is like the music stuff where it's people who like use the music in it, but it's like they're analyzing it and they're talking about the importance of it or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue like just about like any channel that covers like real life things, you could argue sort of that, but not really. I don't know. It's like there's the spectrum of like how acceptable it should be. It's like you're unacceptable when you have the people who's like, oh yeah, it's me and the boys, we're watching thing, and maybe putting a quip at it, not really adding anything to it really.
The only
Other
thing I
than-
can say for the yeah, it's me and the boys, right? Is I remember when the Steven Universe movie came out, and the Roundtable did a live watch party, but they never showed the actual film on screen.
Yeah, that's
It
different.
was just the camera focused on them and their genuine reactions, so that you weren't watching the content for free. You were either watching it live, and it had the illusion that you were watching it with people. That is a reaction that I can get behind, because it's not supposed to supplement the material you're supposed to be watching.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is a supplementary material, not a replacement material.
Yes, thank you.
It's like one of the channels I watched talked about it. One of their older projects was they made like their own like commentary track to like the original Terminator,
Huh?
and they were specifically talking about it because they'd gotten copies over it for no reason. And it's literally just basically a still image basically of like the movie poster. Like right at the start of it, they have like the opening flash or whatever, so you can sync it up, so you can have like their commentary as you're watching the thing.
Oh, that's
Kinda thing.
interesting.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing Mia mentioned, except instead of being a live reaction, it's like a pre-recorded thing.
Yeah. Just on
For someone who's seen it before, because they really like
So,
the original Terminator, because the original Terminator was a good movie, unlike
before
any
you go
Terminator
on
movie made in my
to
lifetime.
The last topic or the next topic, you mentioned parasocial relationships. I don't know if you guys have been following. For the last 4 months, 5 months, I've just seen nothing but Colleen fucking Ballinger.
what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Have you not heard about this?
Oh, you've not heard
About
about
what?
the ukulele
Okay.
lady?
Hold on, wait. Before we move on
I
to the next
actually
pinpoint,
need to go.
How about we do a bathroom break? And if someone has to go, they go.
Uh,
And we, like, 5
I-
minute break.
I need to go for a bit. I have. Maybe I'll be back before stream starts. I don't know.
Before you leave, when you do get a chance, look up Toxic Gossip Train, Colleen Ballinger.
I've referenced the ukulele video once in D&D.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can go on a
Okay.
whole tangent. And the whole thing that's happening with Swoop after the Colleen Ballinger
Yeah.
video pisses me off.
Well, let's talk about that when after the break.
Yeah, after a bathroom break.
If-
I have to go pee. I'm
if
going
I'm
to
not- if I'm not
fucking
back-
destroy. BRB, guys.
Back. If I'm not back before the end of stream, it's been fun, Keela. I hope you're on again, so we can both
Yeah, it's been a
traumatize
pleasure.
Jimmy with our knowledge of how shit things are.
It's been fun.
Been fun. You have a good time, everyone. Bathroom break. Hasta la pasta va con queso.
Doug.
I'm back. Okay, so I was just in constant need of going to the bathroom. I was like, I don't want to like cut it, so I was waiting to end it. Thank you so much. Okay,
You're good.
so where were we? We wanted to talk about press something, but okay.
So
What is
we were gonna
social
do
land?
but Keela mentioned Colleen Ballinger, and I can info dump on that all fucking day.
You and me both. Oh my god, I've been knee deep in it, and it's insane.
So where do we begin?
The beginning, please.
Do you know who Colleen Ballinger is?
No, that's why I said the
Have you
beginning.
ever heard of the channel Miranda Sings?
Yeah.
I imagine she's not that popular in Europe.
The
But she
name
was very-
No, she's not.
sounds
She's not really that
familiar,
popular.
but I'm not sure. I
So
don't
She's an
she-
ugly
know.
looking motherfucker.
She
Oh.
started out on YouTube as just ripping the piss out of girls who think they can
Oh my god. Wait, is this
sing
the
but can't,
person?
you know, that kind of thing, and just basically being obnoxious. This is Colleen Ballinger as Miranda Sings, and she would say the most outrageous, disgusting things. She got a following. She's come under fire lately because stuff came out about her a few years ago. One of her fans admitted that she's in calls with underage people, talking
Group
about
chat,
her
yeah.
sex life,
Group chats.
sending him underwear, very
She bought
lingerie.
a lingerie set from, I believe it was Forever 21, and she and her best friend,
her husband at the time.
no,
Her
it was
husband.
not her husband. It was her
It
friend.
was no, it was her
It wasn't
husband at the
Josh.
time. They were on a live stream together.
It wasn't Josh.
So this
On
is
the
the
live
person.
stream?
This is the
Yeah.
person that sung an apology video, and everyone shitted
Yeah.
on her because of it. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I know this name, because I have heard
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we're talking about. So she
Also,
went
every
on-
single image of this woman on Google is fucking hideous. This woman is not pretty.
Yeah, she's.
She's gonna ugh.
But she
Aside from
basically
that-
she convinced this young fella to take over her social media accounts at like 16, 17, and then threw him under the bus when he made a tweet that she approved. Didn't go well with her fan base. She threw him under the bus.
Bruh.
Yeah, so the person in the live stream with her was Corey DeSoto, who is her gay
Oh, was
best friend.
Corey her brother?
No, Trent is her brother. Corey
Trent
is
her
the gay
brother,
best
okay.
friend.
There's too many people in this. Like,
And they're all fucking creeps.
yeah,
Except Josh was. He was not inappropriate because one of the accusers ended up being shown to be a creep, but also a liar.
So this all broke. This all broke when one of her trolls basically decided to say, "Yeah, this young fella that made all these accusations was right, and here's the proof."
That was Cody Tyler, who
Mhm.
was in the channel Cody Rants, but they quote unquote deplatform themselves. They come back every couple of seconds. Cody Rants was also part of the Weenies group chat when they and part of the harassment for the young Adam McIntyre, who you can find here on Twitch as well. He goes over videos talking about sometimes the situation, and he will make reaction videos to it, but also giving more context to what is being spoken about in the video. So Cody Tyler talked about the situation, saying, yeah, so he was bullied off of the internet, but it was super inappropriate. I was in that group chat. I saw everything that happened. He was right, even though they never said anything. Back in, I believe it was 2020 when this was first addressed.
Yeah.
Cody had actually been part of that harassment train, but, you know, they never mentioned that. But also, Cody made it sound as if they were also a minor in that group chat. They were an adult making
4 or something at the time.
Yeah, she was a full-grown adult, and she was making fan fiction of the real life people in the server and in the Instagram group chat. Most of whom were minors.
Bruh.
Colleen.
It gets way worse. Like, some of the things that she's done is so horrendous.
Colleen is accused of speaking inappropriately to these minors in that group chat, talking about her sex life and supposed abuse she suffered from her ex-husband Josh, Josh has come forth in a Swoop documentary, saying that's not at all what happened. Actually, Colleen was much more abusive to myself, and gave examples. And Shane Dawson is wrapped up in all of this motherfucking shit.
Yeah,
Can that?
so basically when they were on their honeymoon, Colleen sent Shane Dawson, of all fucking people, a text saying that Josh was physically abusive towards her. And Shane, being the gentleman that he is, shared it with everybody.
She also had watch parties for Trisha Paytas' OnlyFans, which Shane Dawson was also in those watch parties. And she would share some of the pictures she got with a young John Silvestri. I'm not going to call him Johnny because he's a grown-ass man. John Silvestri and Adam McIntyre, who was 13 at the time, I believe.
Wait, I know who this person Shane Dawson is. The fuck?
Yeah,
Everyone
Shane
knows
Dawson.
who
He's
Shane
he's
Dawson
also
is.
a creep.
He's not.
He's the motherfucker that came on his cat.
Huh?
He's OG YouTube nasty
That was
asshole.
Colleen and Jack's Films to that credit.
My god.
But yeah,
Yeah.
when you talk about parasocial relationships, basically she got Adam McIntyre to run these accounts as her intern, with the promise of a job afterwards.
Not to mention that she and Adam he genuinely believed at the time when he was a minor, up until 2020, that he and Colleen were friends because she would interact with him so much.
Yeah.
And so
she made him. She invited him to Dublin. Right now, I'm from Dublin. He lives in
yes.
he lived in Derry. Invited him to Dublin for a meet and greet with her and a few others in her entourage.
His parents had to drive him a couple hours there, and even then she was being pretty wishy-washy, especially when he mentioned, my parents will be dropping me off.
She got very angry at that.
Which is very suspect.
And then blew him off, basically.
They hung out for a couple hours and then practically left him there.
Blew him off. And he was 17 or 16 at the time. 16 at the time. In a different, basically, essentially a different country, because North and South are different under different jurisdictions.
Yeah.
So essentially, he was in a different country, potentially just on his own, because
from what she knew, his parents had already left him to hang out with her. In her mind's eye, she was perfectly fine with just leaving a child alone in a city that they were not familiar with. Thank goodness his parents were just around the block waiting for him. But he genuinely believed that he was all alone in the city and nobody was there going to help him, because Colleen had just fucked off into another hotel.
So she's still under fire at the moment, and that swoop documentary, if anyone gets a chance, it's long, it's in depth.
Multiple.
Like she brought a 16 or 15-year-old up on stage, and made her get down. She was wearing a skirt, made her get down on the stage, lie down on the stage, with her head facing towards the crowd. Pulled up her legs, opened them, and a fart noise came out. And that young one went back to the car, terrified.
And that's what she means by, because I made a fart joke in the fucking song.
Yeah, that was the fart joke. Bringing a child up on stage and exposing her in a sexual way to a whole host of people.
That child drove themselves to the show, and they were scared to go back because they noticed that a bunch of boys and men were leering at her, and it was making her extremely uncomfortable. And during this entire thing, Colleen was quiet, quote unquote, because she was on tour. And on this tour, there are people who still went, right? And they saw that she was making fun of YouTube apology videos on the tour during this entire thing.
Yeah.
Her brother, I think it's important to mention this because Oliver has also not been mentioned in the Swoop documentary, which is the debacle. Oliver had been groomed and talked sexually to by Colleen's brother, Trent Ballinger. And I haven't read the text for my own health,
Yeah.
but
yeah, it's
disgusting.
a tough watch. It's a tough. I wouldn't recommend it.
fucking Christ. These kinds of people deserve to be locked up in a box inside of a white room with nothing.
The most surprising thing is that Jojo Siwa came out in defense of Colleen Ballinger.
That wasn't surprising to me.
It's not like surprising, but it's just like, girl, read the room.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's
It's mostly
the
because
weird
Jojo...
thing that she inspires in people devoted loyalty for no reason, for nothing. She doesn't give them anything. She takes and takes and takes, and yet she's able to
It's the
encourage this blind
stars in
loyalty.
their eyes.
Like, one of the reasons why Adam had such a close relationship, she was getting Adam as a 14-year-old, telling him in-depth things about her divorce and her relationship to Josh, and getting him to go on forums to dig up information about Josh.
It was...
Blind loyalty.
It's
scary.
blind loyalty because they have stars in their eyes, and she gives them attention from somebody famous, and that makes them feel important. It gives them that purpose that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's the same. We just scroll back to the Sims thing, like people like having the celebrities that they think care for them, when in honesty most of the time they don't.
I'm sure that there are also allegations against Corey DeSoto because he does have a group chat of his own. His platform was launched off of hers. In fact, most of her family has a platform launched off of hers.
So does Johnny.
So does Johnny.
Johnny
who
came
lied
out.
about
Johnny
also
came
being
out and exposed
John.
the Trish Paytas thing and pretended to be a victim, specifically of Josh, the ex-husband of Colleen.
While also exposing Trisha Paytas' nudes and phone number without her consent.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was basically doing every interview that would have him. He was asking people to do interviews with him.
His dad even said on Twitter,
Yeah.
this is the best thing that ever happened. I'm surprised that like Adam's mom is not taking advantage of this more. And Adam's mom, bless her heart, is just like, why would I take advantage of that?
Yeah, of her son's trauma. But that, I mean, this is he was found out to be an absolute liar.
And also a
what
grooming
happens-
defender because his best friend is also a groomer.
Yeah, what happens is that, and thankfully it hasn't happened, but what usually happens when something like this happens, when someone is found to be lying and taking advantage of a situation, usually what happens is there's a blanket ban on or refusal to believe all of the victims. Now that hasn't happened in this instance, thankfully. The other
Yes.
victims have been getting their say, and people
Wolf
have been
has been-
supporting them, so...
Monumental in that happening as well because she has been doing live interviews with all of the victims, right? Oh, there was another one. Becky was the one who was on stage.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
There
it
was-
Becky.
And then there was another girl. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
Who
where
she she apparently said that she was faking her disability.
Yes, faking her disability because she suffers from fibromyalgia, which I also suffer from, as well as swoop. It's painful. It's an inflammation. Fibromyalgia is basically an inflammation of the muscles, and it's extremely painful.
No. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, when parasocial relationships came up, it just jumped into my
Yeah.
head about Colleen.
It's okay. This is incredibly like I've been told by my mom and my dad to come downstairs to either help them or get some cake, and I'm like, I'm sorry, at least for today, let me do this because today's podcast is being too fucking interesting to stop.
You
I love my
gave her
parents.
cake for us. Oh my god.
No, okay, so quick story. Yesterday, my mom and I went shopping, and one of the I don't know if this happens on your stores, but on the last store we went in, the cashier was like, "May I interest you in some apple cake?" And it's like a small apple cake, and both at the exact same time looked at the cashier, and said yes. So we ended up buying a small piece of apple cake, apple tart, I guess it would be called more.
I like it. I do like apple pie. I love apple pies.
It's also a quick little story to calm the ambient a little bit because this talk is very interesting, but at the same time it stresses me out to think that there's people like this on the internet.
Yeah.
Quick.
We're only tipping the iceberg.
Yeah,
lad.
we're only dipping into the iceberg, which is what
Swoop is
worries me the
currently
most.
taking a mental health break because she also suffers from trauma of this flavor, let's say.
The
Understand.
worst thing I
And,
think for I mean in the documentary, Johnny said something so reprehensible. Well, several things reprehensible. First of all, I think the worst thing he came out with was, Josh talked about in private. He said to Johnny that he was abused by Colleen, and he said, you had your opportunity to discuss this. He fucked around and found out.
Yep.
And Swoop was just like, now hold the fuck up.
Yeah. Using her words to justify something so horrendous. And the other thing he said was that grooming intellectually or for anything non-sexual is actually worse than grooming for sexual pleasure.
Huh?
And Swoop gave him the bombastic side eye. She sent him packing, and she unloaded all of his dirty laundry for the world to see. And you know what? He deserved it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bravo to Swoop. I mean, she's mega.
She's actually been on the news recently, because she was talking also about 8 passengers since she's been on that case for about a year now,
Mhm.
prior to the arrests. So, let's go from one flavor of depressing to the next one. Christian is now out of prison, and they have recently uploaded a video.
Several videos.
Several videos. My partner watched the first one. I've not had the stomach to watch the next.
It's difficult on where to start with Chris. I've been following this saga a little bit. The whole thing makes me sad.
It makes
And it
me
makes me sad
sad.
because I don't agree with Chris on a lot of what they believe. But there were so many times in the run up to that phone call, the infamous phone call, where people could have genuinely helped him.
I think that's the thing. There was
they-
a girl at the
No.
time of the phone call who genuinely had a crush on Chris
Yes, there
before
was.
Bella did what she did.
Well, I mean, right. So the person that you're referring to is Fiona. And Fiona
Yes.
is the one that actually leaked the call.
Yes.
So, right. But my point is this. Chris had been, since 2007, had been dealing with people who were absolutely obsessed with destroying this person's life.
Lack of purpose can drive people to do abhorrent things.
But let's look at it, because if you're going to judge Chris now, you have to understand what these people did. So, prospective girlfriends, for instance, these trolls said that at one stage one died in a car crash. One died in wildfires in Australia.
There
One
was
told
the
it-
one.
Yeah,
Who,
one told him to commit suicide. They
There was
hacked him.
several times where several 13-year-old boys catfished Chris using their
No,
higher
but-
pitched voices to pretend to be girls and then revealing, "Congratulations, you fucking pedophile! I'm 13 years old and I'm a boy."
Yeah.
Knowing
Um,
that Christian has been raised in a homophobic home.
Yes, but a lot of these, some of these people were on group chats with him, telling him to commit suicide. These trolls, they hacked him. They forced him to say he was gay, even though they knew what his opinions were on gayness. As an LGBT person myself, it's one of those things
Same.
that I found reprehensible. They made him do sex tapes. They were just borderline humiliation, actually complete humiliation of this autistic man who didn't understand what was actually going on when he was doing it.
When they first uploaded the Encyclopedia Dramatica, or not that I was there, but I remember hearing that when Encyclopedia Dramatica made a thing for Chris, he edited it himself in first person,
Yeah.
and in an attempt to overload it with information, giving people more and more information and he just couldn't understand what was happening. Using
Well,
he in the past tense he, but I'm going to use they just because
okay.
with Christian, it is so hard to understand whether they genuinely feel that transness or if it's because they were convinced by trolls that if they identify as a female and are a lesbian, they'll have a higher chance of getting boyfriend-free girls.
Probably. But then
Probably the latter, but
so more on this identity theft. You have the Liquid Chris thing where someone pretended to be the real Chris, and
yes.
that went on for about 3 years. Where he was dealing with identity theft, and his PlayStations were hacked again and again and again and again. They phoned his dad. They phoned his dad saying that he threatened to commit suicide on YouTube.
I think the best thing his parents ever did for him was to tell him to shut that damn thing off. Because there's several
Yeah,
times where they tell him to turn off the camera or get off the computer. But they're also telling him to take the information off the internet. And Chris can't do that.
Once the information is on the internet, you can't really take it
It's
out.
there forever.
Yep.
They told his church about the sextile Officer Nasty that
yep,
Chris used to own.
yep.
Um,
They got him expelled
they
from his
made him
church.
put. They convinced him that as a fake, another fake girlfriend convinced him to put his Sonichu medallion up his ass.
Yep, cut it up and put it up his ass. I mean, the lengths to which these trolls went to mess with him and to fuck with him is so reprehensible. It doesn't justify anything that he says or does. But it's very hard to judge someone unless you have all of the information.
Yes.
And to see the way in which his mind has been warped by these trolls.
The way he's been infantilized by his family as well cannot be good for him.
Yeah.
No.
Would not have been good for them.
And when it comes to like homophobia, for instance, I think that was more ignorance than fear, because at one stage he had an actual friend that he went to school with. Her boyfriend, he got back in touch with her. Her boyfriend had a brother who was gay and who was in the army and who went to war. And he came out and he did a video saying, "I have no issue with gay people. I am sorry if I offended you. I thank you for your service." All of this. And so a lot of his racist comments or homophobic comments was blown so out of proportion that they made a parody of what he actually believed.
I genuinely, it's like something that they learned from their parents.
Oh, it is. It's definitely something they learned from their parents.
That Chris just accepted as truth.
Yeah.
I feel like if Christian had anyone else for parents, they would have not ended up this way.
But it's not just the parents, you know.
It's not, but that's
Well,
not
it
what I'm
would have
saying.
Every
changed
single one of those
something.
trolls, every single one of those trolls had the ability to actually contact social
That's not what I'm
services
saying.
or somebody to get him removed from that setting and to get him
Especially
genuine
for
help,
all
and they
the
didn't.
parents were orders. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the parents' fault by any means. I'm just saying they, how do I explain? They were mal-equipped to dealing with an autistic child,
Absolutely.
infantilized them so much that they are currently still in child state of mind to this day, right? Like they never raised Chris either with a carer, with any what's the word? Therapy of any point. There was never
They didn't
any.
believe in it, and they didn't want anyone from the
They
state
did not.
intervening.
They just didn't give Chris any incentive to being independent.
No.
And so now
that's backfired on Barbara in particular, spectacularly in the worst, most disgusting type of way. If it's true,
and she can't even
allegedly.
register what's happened to her.
Hmm?
And she can't even register what's happened to her.
The issue
Like,
that I have with the phone call, so for anyone that doesn't know about this phone call, the phone call itself was done with Bella Jang, who was an uber troll who wanted to be the best troll there ever was in Chris lore. And she had what was essentially a 2-hour phone call with Chris about him being intimate with his mum. That's the way I'm going to phrase it.
Yeah.
Being
Good
with their
way
mum,
to.
with their mum.
Yeah.
Now, the issue that I have in the same phone call, they talked about. Sorry, I keep using the word he because he's gone back to using he, and sometimes he uses she and they. You're right.
Just they. Just they is the
They-
easiest way.
Bella herself has admitted to hacking Chris's bank account, stealing his money, convincing them to join a cult, trying to convince them to commit suicide. So basically, what she was doing was she was trying to use this phone call, as a mechanism to basically blackmail, to do whatever she wanted, and ultimately to make him off himself, which is absolutely abhorrent. She also wanted to film Chris being intimate with an underage person at some comic convention, which obviously didn't happen because he was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at and in the same phone call, by the way, he also talked about how the dimensions were intertwining, and he was now
The dimensional
Solitude,
merge.
and he was now Jesus, and
Yeah, the dimensional merge.
so you don't. This is what makes it very, very hard, especially for law enforcement. They don't know what to take at face value. He doesn't. They don't know how to separate reality from imagined fiction. And the question is, this Bella person, did she give Chris the idea in the first place of being intimate with his mum?
Most likely.
And if so, was part of what Chris was talking about just designed to impress Bella? So was it actually true, or was Chris saying it to get points from Bella? Because he's done that with girls in the past, where he's made shit up. Sorry, where they've made shit up, to basically impress them and to get laid, essentially. And I don't think Chris knows themselves what actually happened, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Again, that's not trying to excuse
Alright.
Chris at all. But the question has to be posed about the motivations behind that phone call, because, again, as a
Chris
sociologist, it
Just
tinkers in my
too
brain.
far gone. Chris is just too far gone, in my opinion, in my non-medical opinion,
Mm-hmm.
that he should not live outside of a home.
No. Assisted
Again.
living at the very least.
Assisted living with somebody who, as hard as it is, does not know anything about who Christianity is on the internet.
That-
And I feel like a court order should have been mandated where they are not allowed back on the internet for their own safety at this point.
I agree. But the problem is, even with that, will the trolls leave them alone?
I don't think so.
I mean,
If they're- Like
do
I
you
said, they
know
need to
much
be
about Bella?
because they know where Chris lives, and people will be desperate to find where Chris lives.
But do you know much about Bella?
No, I don't. I
So-
choose not to.
Oh, this Bella girl is absolutely psychotic.
I know. At some point, you'd think she'd be arrested for hacking into a bank account, but no.
She's
They press
also
charges
doxed
first.
other people. She has talked about fetish play with a cat. She has documented and filmed and displayed the demise of at least 8 hamsters. And I've seen one of the videos, and I can never unsee that video, and I do not recommend it.
I
She-
wasn't going to watch that anyway.
Yeah. She filmed her roommates for blackmail, including photoshopping tech. She had a Discord called the Chess Club, which basically centered around harassment in Texas Tech of other students, and uploaded the animal abuse onto that. and she tried to Photoshop text basically that her roommate was the one behind the Discord.
It takes somebody much more unhinged than herself to take her down, basically.
Yeah. But there's a lot. There's a lot about this particular person that's even more terrifying than the original subject. But I would agree with you. I don't think Chris should be on the internet, especially now that their delusions have become so entrenched in their personality.
Like, is it just what they believe as an autistic person? Probably not,
No.
because I do have many friends that I love
I
very much.
think
who
it
are on the
started.
spectrum.
I think it started off with the autism because my nephew is autistic.
Yeah, they take things at face value for the most part.
And well, I'll give you an example. He came out and said to us at the age of 6 that he was actually Sonic, and that at 13 he was going to go back to Sega Land.
See, that's something that sounds like a 6-year-old, right? My 6-year-old say stuff like that.
No,
Not my children.
No. He was convinced he was Sonic. He was dangling out a window because he didn't think he could die because he was Sonic. Like, the delusions that an autistic person can have, it's not always this extreme, but the delusions for him, it wasn't pretend. He couldn't separate out pretend from reality. He was Sonic, and he was going back to Sega Land when he turned 13.
Obviously,
It
Chris
was
has
so
been turned 13
terrifying.
and gone past that.
Yeah, it was so terrifying. He would run in front of buses thinking that he could stop them.
There's also like plenty of.
Oh, hi! Oh,
his-
that's the. Hello,
Hi.
Jelly Creamy. That is the second raid of the day.
Hello,
Hello!
nerds.
Hello, Jelly. How's it going? We are speaking about Christian in the Roomba today. Hello.
Hey, Jack.
Welcome in. I hope your Among Us raid was Among Us stream was good.
Woohoo.
Let's see.
But yeah, it's very
It
hard to
Feels like
separate.
delusions runs in the family. No,
yeah.
thankfully not with Chris's siblings, who I don't know anything about. Which I
They
don't
were
want.
separated from their parents. That's the
The responsible thing.
difference.
But Chris Chan wasn't always known as Christian Weston Chandler. His original name was Christopher, but the father heard somebody accidentally call Chris Christian, and he took that as a sign from God that his name should be Christian. So they took all avenues to legally change the name.
Yeah.
Delusions just run in the family. Anyway, Jimmy, thank you for listening to us, Infodump.
It's okay.
Oh, no.
Like you two seemed so into the topic of this person, which oh my Mina. Thank you. Thank you very much for the sub, Mina.
You earned it from sitting through all this shit.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
But like a lot of the times when I was hearing that, I'm just thinking to myself, how is this person still alive? You know what I mean? Like some of these people, the things that they do, it's like, how are they still alive? How are they here in this
cockroaches,
world?
they never die.
It is
Care of
impressive to
Chris.
say the least.
Thank you. Barb was still taking care of Chris. Like, Barb was making blankets and such to sell that Chris would advertise on their channel. And I believe they would still take care of, still cook and such. It wasn't until Chris started that quote-unquote therapy that was recommended for Barb to, like, go back, return to her youthful days, even though it was just a sign of dementia.
Yep.
Oh,
Severe dementia that has been untreated.
oh, that's bad. That's very bad.
Where she
He's
remembered
79.
She, Chris on the phone call, Chris is quoted as saying, "Yeah, she remembers memory from when she was in kindergarten." Her memory's coming back, and that's no.
And he
that's
doesn't
not what-
understand. He doesn't understand. My own grand was the same. She had dementia, and she would remember things from her childhood, but put me and my mum in the same room. She knew who both of us were, but she couldn't connect the two of us in the room. It was absolutely bizarre, and it's hard because he just doesn't understand. And even in that phone call, one of the first things he says is like, I had to encourage her.
No.
Yeah.
Right? It's no,
Yeah.
right?
It's a big no, but Chris just didn't understand.
Encourage. Did he encourage her or did he force her? That's the big question. That's the scary part. You're never going to know that answer.
Yeah.
Because she is not lucid enough to explain what happened. And he is not sane enough to explain what happened.
As long as he just doesn't have access to Barb again, I guess that's the best we could do.
Did I... Bolt, since you're in chat, did we talk about Nintendo's new imposing rules for tournament making? Because this is something
I
that...
heard about this. Man, what
Uh,
a stinker.
Wait, what's happening?
Since, this is a more gaming, centered... Okay, great, I haven't. Great, this is perfect. Now it's my time to speak my mouth
Hold up.
off.
Go for it.
So, a couple of days ago, we received a, what's it called? A guideline, a community guideline for from Nintendo, for fan game tournaments. I have posted the American, UK version on the idea box. If you guys want to take it a read, I took it a read. I think we were in a call, a couple of people, and I just went off because these guidelines are very dangerous for gaming communities because they are very imposing. These tournaments that Nintendo wants to do, I'll read the first couple paragraphs so you can think about. Thank you for sharing your passion for Nintendo's games, characters, and worlds. Nintendo cares about the community and would like to support individuals who want to celebrate that passion by creating memorable, cooperative, and competitive play experiences. At the same time, we want to ensure that fans who are doing so are engaging with our games, characters, and worlds in a way that positively supports other fans, players, and Nintendo. In that spirit, we have created guidelines for individual organizers to follow when hosting not-for-profit, small-scale community tournaments involving games for which Nintendo owns the copyright. Please familiarize yourself with the guidelines below before planning a community tournament. Community tournaments may be operated by individuals, which are the organizers, for individuals participating in tournaments, the participants, and for individuals viewing the tournaments, the spectators, provided that these guidelines are followed. One of the things that stuck with me is they want you to follow these guidelines, but let me see if I can read it. The community tournament is not affiliated with Nintendo and makes no use of Nintendo trademarks or IP, except as permitted by these guidelines. So they're telling you, you have to follow our rules, but you cannot tell them that you're following our rules because, weird, I guess. Community tournaments may not falsely imply Nintendo is associated with sponsoring or otherwise affiliated with the event and may not be presented as official or endorsed by Nintendo. The names of community tournaments may not contain Nintendo trademarks or IP, such as Nintendo's company name, logo, product or service names such as game titles, names adopted from Nintendo games such as named characters. This includes any shortened or modified uses of Nintendo trademarks or IP. So you couldn't call a Mario Kart tournament, something related with Mario Kart. Other than referencing the game name to indicate which game is being played at the community tournament, community tournaments may not make use of Nintendo trademarks or IP. including logos and characters art as part of community tournament activity. Another thing that struck me in a, this is a more fixable thing because you can do pools and other stuff like that. But the community tournament is small scale and not for commercial profit. A lot of times, yes, you want to make money out of these tournaments, but at the same time, therefore, a lot of times those costs that you get from the tournament are to cover for the costs of making the tournament. So, kind of difficult. Community tournaments may not generate commercial revenue except as permitted by these guidelines. Tournaments may include up to 200 participants for in-person tournaments or up to 300 participants for online tournaments. Organizers that have reached the legal age of majority in their jurisdiction may collect entry fees for participants in an amount no more than the equivalent of £18 or €20 per person. Around $20, maybe $22, I think. Entry fees collected from participants may be used for covering the costs of organizing the tournament towards pricing. Thing is, some of these tournaments are way too expensive to cover that. Think about the fact that you have 4,000 euros in a full 200 participant tournament to work with to prepare the entire tournament. And most of the time that will not be enough if it's a really big tournament, because you have to, first of all, get the place to do the tournament itself, like the venue. And you also have to prepare the stands, and you have to maybe get cameraman to film everything and all this kind of thing. Organizers that no price may hold on, let me see. Oh yeah. The total value of cash pricing a single organizer can offer through community tournament in a 12-month period may not be more than the equivalent of £9,000 or €10,000. And in Europe and Japan, this is still not in America, but in Europe and Japan, they're talking about maybe not giving just a cash price, like just giving you items, which in Japan sadly makes sense because Japan considers tournaments and esports as a form of gambling. It's weird, I know, but it is like that. It's like they think that you playing, for example, because this is my kind of line, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate competitively is the same as you sitting down in a pachinko machine and gambling.
I think it's more, and I'm not defending it, but what I'm reading here, it seems to be more that there's a difference between the community tournaments and the commercial tournament. And what they're trying to do is prevent gouging from the community tournaments by trying to differentiate between the two. What they're actually going to do is basically kill off the community or very severely limit
exactly
the benefit of the community tournament, as opposed to the one that they're getting huge amounts of fees from to allow their games to be played in those tournaments.
Something that I'm expecting. Hold on, Mom's here with cake.
Woohoo, cake!
Nintendo is doing a big dump.
Yeah. Man, I hate it here.
Yippee, Mom brought the cake.
The question I would have is, how are they going to police it?
That's my big
With an army of lawyers.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, with an army of lawyers. Another thing is, a lot of these tournaments get videos on YouTube. So, and those videos on YouTube may have, cameras looking at spectators. So if they're that nitpicky, they could hand count how many spectators there are.
They could, but in that case, the community affiliates that are creating, this is what's going to happen. This is what I can see happening, because it happened with different communities all over YouTube and the gaming community in general. What's going to happen is that shadow groups are going to start up. And so it'll be posted under this shadow group of a community tournament, and they're just going to break the rules and do what they've always done. And when the might, I suppose, of the legal team from Nintendo comes down on them, they're just going to move it.
Exactly.
And you can't, especially on a small scale, you can't prove who was behind an event. If you say, let's say, Nintendo Convention of Missouri, and it's the Nintendo Convention, and that's who signs the agreement for the rental of the building. Well, who are they? How are you going to prove that the person that signs for it is the actual person behind the account? You know, and that's what's going to happen.
Yep. Another thing is, Nintendo is very known for being very anti-competitive.
They don't want other people gaining from their work.
I guess.
And that's what they'll say.
But, okay.
Antitrust lawsuit, go.
Let me explain what I meant with being anti-competitive. Back in 2013, oh my god, that was 10 years ago. Back in 2013, EVO, which is the Evolution tournament, which is one of the biggest fighting game tournaments of all time, like of each year, happened. Super Smash Bros. Melee, at the time, 12-year-old game, auditioned to get into EVO. And by sheer work of the community alone, they got a ticket to EVO. What happened soon before EVO started, Nintendo came down with a hammer to try and make it so Melee would not be streamed on EVO 2013. Luckily, the community backlashed on them so hard, they backed down and EVO 2013 could happen. Ever since until 2019, which was the last year of EVO, Melee has been a staple game on EVO for 6 years. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 7. 6, 7? You know. But, it's like, these are games that you made, yes. But at the same time, let us enjoy the games how we want to enjoy the games. This is a gripe that I have.
They're games you made. They're games you've sold. The games you've stopped making and stopped selling. On console you stopped making and stopped selling. Then you've made their sequels and stopped selling those. Made their sequels and stopped selling those. Why the fuck do you care?
Yeah, especially this guideline, this community tournament guideline hits on
Oh,
Melee tournaments.
Especially
And the money
since
that came from after that.
especially since the other thing is it's not even like you can argue piracy or no. I'm pretty sure most of these are played on like proper hardware with the things. I mean, some of them I think is modded and
Yeah,
hates
Melee.
that.
Okay, let me explain, because again, I am the one that tried to be the most informed here. The thing with Melee being hit the hardest, Melee is a 22-year-old game. It is a 2001 game that came out really soon after the release of the GameCube. And these people in the community, which we can call them whatever we want as the Ultimate community and the Smash 4 3DS community, but they are some of the most die-hard for their game. They are going to play that game until they can't kind of people. Like, there has been people that have
They will
gotten
be playing
injuries.
Smash Bros. Melee on their deathbed.
Yes. But also there's been people that have gotten injuries on their hands and they were unable to play on a GameCube controller, and they literally were like, I can't stop playing the game that I like. I'm going to find a way to play it. And that's how the box controller was invented. If you want more information, maybe I'll do a deep dive on the box controller next week. Because it's basically a fighting stick controller. But Melee has been optimized to a point where everything is sort of regulated inside the game. But since it's a 22-year game, a lot of the discs don't really work anymore. And the system it runs sometimes doesn't run anymore. So, you know, they have to load up the game on a USB drive and on a modded Wii, so that USB drive can run inside that modded Wii, so you can play Melee. And that copy of Melee is modded not to give an unfair advantage the whole other country, so the game is fairer, so there's less weird controller inputs, or a stage is more legal usable. Pokemon Stadium is the biggest case, because Pokemon Stadium is a stage in Melee that transforms throughout the game, normally, and has the various transformations. Fire, if I recall, it's fire, ground, water, and grass. The reason why there was a movement called Freeze PS1 was because in the fire transformation, there was a bug that would kill yourself, that would kill your character if you accidentally pressed it. Wasn't, I don't think it was even that hard to do. I think you just had to like wave dash into a corner of a tree and you'd fall. And because wave dashing includes air dodging puts you into free fall. And if you're into free fall, you can't escape. You just fall and die. And that happened in the middle of a big tournament. I think it was in EVO. I think it was EVO 2015. And they're like, freeze stadium or ban stadium. Now they've frozen it, so it's, legal.
I'm sorry to cut this conversation up, but I have to go.
It's okay.
It's getting a bit antsy for bed.
It's okay. Go take care of the little guy. I'll continue here.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It's been a pleasure. It has been an absolute pleasure here, having you here.
It was very good to meet you.
Yeah.
I just realized, Jimmy, the color you've given her Squirtle, it looks like the green Koopa shell.
Yes. Thank you. Good that you realized.
Nice job, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, and I will talk to you all soon.
Okay, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
By the way, this Roomba of Thought has been so interesting. We're still going strong, and it's been 2 hours and a half.
Very serious episode.
Yeah, it is a very serious
and no technical difficulties either.
True. You're so right. Where was I? Right. So one of the things. Where was I? Melee.
Cringe. Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo being cringe in general. Like, TLDR, Nintendo wanting to stop games for being competitive. You know, the funny thing, they have multiple competitive games. They have Splatoon. I would like to think that Splatoon is semi-competitive, because, it's a shooter, it's a team shooter. Mina, would you agree?
Yes.
ARMS is a fighting game. Fighting games by nature are competitive. That game is dead. I did not hear anything about ARMS, the video game, until Min Min was announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC.
I heard it in the beginning, back when I was on Husk of Cobb server.
True, I also did hear about ARMS, but like when it came out, and it was like, oh, this looks funny fighting game with stretchy arms. And that was the extent of it. Mario Kart 8 is a competitive game. I would like to think so. I am a speedrunner for Mario Kart games.
I know that there is a Splatoon Nintendo does host stuff for Splatoons. They hope it on their channel all the time.
Yeah.
I honestly get more notifications for Pokemon trading card games, and those.
Yes.
I fucking hate when there's a Pokemon card tournament, because Pokemon will spam you with like 4 different notifications at a time.
Yeah, understandable. Pokemon, okay, I'm not specifying Pokemon, because Pokemon, I think, goes by the Pokemon Company, which is, their own can of worms. I don't really want to talk about the Pokemon Company and what they do.
Back to Splatoon. Nintendo has their own Splatoon tournaments and stuff that they host, and they stream it. They even had custom amiibos as prizes, where they're golden versions of the idols. They're exclusive to the winners of those tournaments.
Okay, fair enough. And then there's I want you now to realize, right now I'm talking about games on the Switch. We'll get to a point I want to do later. And of course, you have the crown jewel of fighting competitive game, Smash, I know a lot of people think of it as a party game, and yes, it can be used as a party game. It is a lot of fun playing casually. I know this from experience. But Smash, Ultimate, and Melee, which are the two predominantly played games right now, have so many intricate mechanics and so much tech to the characters that people want to expand and they want to get better with, and then rivalries and tournaments, and people want to get good at the game and want to prove their mettle against other players. This all for Switch games. The problem comes, Nintendo. One of the things they said is it has to be, if it's an online tournament, it must be done using Nintendo's official servers. This is something of significance for two reasons: Melee and 3DS/Wii U. I'm not talking about Brawl because Brawl is its own can of beans. The thing with Melee right now, the fans made Slippy so people could play online with the same quality as it would be playing in person. And then you might be asking yourself, then why do you add the 3DS? Guess what's happening next year in April? If, chat, you don't know what's happening on the April 2024, Nintendo is officially shutting down the online servers for the 3DS, which means that you won't be able to play online on your 3DS anymore unless you mod your 3DS to make it compatible with playing on the internet. This is basically the same thing as would happen with the DS back in the day, with now the DNS trick. So, you could play games like Pokemon online. You can get I talked about this in another room, but I know that for a fact. But like you can get rewards from old events on Pokemon games. You could play Mario Kart online. It's gonna have to happen the exact same thing with Smash 3DS and any other 3DS game that has any type of competitive value on it. Let's just call it value to, make a little bit of sense. I just hope that the backlash from this is enough to at least make Nintendo back a bit and let, the communities, the ones that actually do care about the games, because a lot of the time I don't really think Nintendo cares about the games, even though things like Smash Ultimate Tournaments have probably gotten them a lot of sales. Like big tournaments probably got them a lot of sales. But, it's just Nintendo being Nintendo.
But we can only hope for the best and be prepared for the worst, you know what I mean?
I hope the community just... Here's the thing, that this is...
It's not gonna kill Nintendo.
No, it's not gonna kill Nintendo. Not at all. Well, that is far from it. Nintendo... The thing with Nintendo... I say this a lot. I love Nintendo, but I hate how they run things.
I like their products, I hate their company.
Exactly. I hate how they do PR, because it feels like a company 20 years back. Or, actually no, 20 is still 2000. A 40-year-old company making video games.
It is.
No, but like,
they
their PR
do behave
stunts.
like boomers.
Yeah, they behave like they're still in the 80s, 90s. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because
They're like, you know who we are. You know who we are.
No, they don't
We
run
have
like
things that you know you want.
Wars.
Buy it.
It's not like they run like a bunch of monkeys. Is they're trying to run it like they're in a dictatorship.
They're running it like we're money machines, and that they can impose whatever rules they want.
Exactly, because the games are good, and people will usually, people will want to buy their games, especially games that are known, like Mario.
Quality games. Because Nintendo releases quality games for the most part. There's not rarely, but they're less likely to disappoint you than, say, a different AAA title.
Sony or Microsoft.
Pretty much.
PS5 has no games. We're really going back to that meme with the PS5 because it has barely any exclusive games. Bruh.
Anyway, since we have about 2 minutes left before 12 o'clock my time, do we want to move on to something not as depressing as we've been all Roomba?
Do we have anything?
Spooky shit that we want to talk
Oh,
about before Halloween.
true, we do have that.
Quick thing that I found while I was browsing, while I was doing my other thing.
Yes.
Apparently, SeaWorld announced that they have, for the first time, they're reporting the first successful birth of an endangered emperor penguin in captivity
Let's go.
at their facility. Penguin.
Coot will come back.
Penguin. Penguin.
Long live the penguins.
Funny penguin pooper.
Okay.
I think that's actually most. We actually, I'm pretty sure, covered all the things that were in
The only
our.
thing was the AI Pokemon thing, which I just wanted to just
Oh,
quickly.
that's right. It has taken an AI generator about, what was it, 7,000 hours?
I think it said 5,000 hours to beat Brock.
AI spends 7,000 hours beating Pokemon Red's first gym, but still can't find its way to the second gym.
It's less efficient than Twitch plays Pokemon.
True.
It was less efficient than the goldfish.
Wait, the goldfish finished?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh my god, hold on. Goldfish playing Pokemon.
One programmer has given an AI model 50,000 hours worth of training in how to play Pokemon Red, leading to an algorithm that's capable of exploring the game and building a team to defeat the first gym leader. But not one that can find a way through Mount Moon or know better than to keep buying Magikarp. Most of all, this exercise is a fascinating way to get an idea of how machine learning actually works.
Yes, it is. It happened. Some fish
the
beat
goldfish
Pokemon
thing-
Sapphire after 3,195 hours.
The goldfish beat Pokemon in 3,000 hours, whereas an AI spent 7,000 hours not even getting to the second gym.
That is fucking whack.
I think artists will be okay.
Yeah, but hopefully.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, so anything else? I don't think so. I think it's only the spooky.
Yeah, I found the secret to taking care of a couple of like a loud group of students at the same time, and that is tell them stories while they're working. There are some students who do not like spooky stories, so I'll try to adapt them so that they're not as scary. But they do love listening to stories when you talk to them. I've told them about the No End House creepypasta. I don't think they know what creepypasta is.
Oh my god. I feel old.
Scary Italian story.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Also, speaking of creepypasta, the image used in the Mario creepypasta has been found.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I saw that. That's
Blame It
funny.
on George has uploaded a picture showing what the original image looked like before it was distorted to all hell to look like victim number 1.
I find that so funny. Like the distorting things. I remember for some reason when I was like 12 or 13, I think it was in October as well, I for some reason started binge watching creepypasta stories and video game creepypasta stories in Spanish.
I have rewatched all of Mullet Mike's Creepy Gaming this month. I love that series so much. I'm so sad that he is retired, but I hope he's enjoying his retirement. He now has he is now studying a clinical psychologist.
Oh.
He was a hallmark for a lot of the creepy gaming stuff that I used to listen to as a kid.
Does anyone remember Ben Drowned?
So do. They finished that ARG not too long ago, too.
Wait, that was an ARG?
Yes, so the creepypasta was a lead-in to an ARG that has recently been finished. You can check it out on Alex Hall's Twitter.
Oh my goodness. Well, I remember this that Ben Drowned was a creepypasta of fucking Majora's
It was
Mask.
a creepypasta. Yeah, it was a creepypasta from Majora's Mask, and Alex Hall, under the YouTube name Jaduzable, uploaded quote unquote real footage of what was happening, and most of this was put on the forums of 4chan. However,
Oh.
ever since then, they've basically made it an ARG, where you're playing. I don't know, remember if you're playing with Alex or something like that, but it's basically trying to defeat the Moon Children cult.
Aw.
It was very complicated and very expensive. It's taken over the course of several years to go through that.
Oh wow. Okay, that's whack. I remember one of the creepypastas that I remember. I was going to say fondly, but that I remember. Uh, there's a lot of creepypastas surrounding Pokemon games.
Oh my god, there's so fucking many.
For example, I think it's Lost Gold. It's one of them.
Lost Silver.
Lost Silver. The other one is one that I remember is someone having a copy of Pokemon Yellow be corrupted, and that kid having 6 Righteous on his team, and then just suddenly disappearing the next day. From what I recall, like general vibe of it.
This is the image of victim number 1 from the Mario creepypasta prior to being corrupted to all fuck.
Yeah, that still looks pretty whack. I kind of miss old creepypastas.
I miss how stupid some of them were.
Mm.
Sonic.exe is still the bane of my existence, but I do miss how much fun they were.
Sonic.exe used to be cool. I don't know what happened to it. Oh yeah, FNF happened to it.
It came back. It was dead for a while because the fucking JC the hyena was outed as a predator.
Ah. Well then.
His fur affinity count. I've taken a look at his fur affinity account, right? Man,
Okay.
the cringe you see on there. It's not even like exclusively lewd, although he does call himself several things. I wrote it on Fish Stick on a Sticks video talking about Sonic.exe. JC the hyena is just really weird. That's all there is to it. He had this thing called Hyena Laboratories, which was his made-up fucking lab that he had, and it also like sold like fake products. One of them is called Hyena Butter, and it's apparently spaghetti scented. It was. He has a thing for being crushed, gigantism. If you go onto his DeviantArt, he still uploads there some occasionally. He does take commissions for art and he takes commissions for writing, but I think he overcharges his work because he charges a penny a word. And if his remake for Sonic.exe, which includes the first and the second story, that's 68 pages long.
Jesus.
The man overcharges.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Some raw moment from the weird furry.
Yes, that is a ew. Why I'm sometimes this is why I'm like I'm not a closet furry, but at the same time like I'll just stay in the
Key on the
silence.
furry shit, you know? You're low key.
Look. One way or another, we're for adults who are using Pokemon as profile pictures. We cannot dodge the accusations.
True.
We
It's
cannot.
gonna happen.
But at the same time, like I enjoy this, but at the same time, it's like I don't like that side. They can leave.
The weirdos.
Yeah, the weirdos, the creepy persons, you know that shtick.
JC the Hyena's fucking rant from when Sonic.exe was taken off of the creepypasta wiki lives rent free in my head, and I cannot evict him no matter how many notices I put on the door.
Oh, okay.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. According to my calculations, I say, fucking chronicling online math. He was about 16 or 17 when he wrote the story. The first one.
Oh. I see.
Look at the stream and you're just messing with something behind you.
Just trying to find a funny spot for the god.
Let's see, what other creepypastas did I enjoy? I really enjoyed Psychosis.
Psychosis?
Psychosis.
No, the other one.
Psychosis is a creepypasta about a man who, he was a programmer of some sort, and he comes to realize that the world is not exactly as it seems. And I'm not going to spoil too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do recommend giving it a
Living
read.
in a simulation, Neo.
Yeah,
Ah,
living in a
yes.
simulation, essentially. But it was more like the world was being taken. He was convinced that the world was being taken over by aliens,
Ah,
and that they
yes.
were replacing the people that he loved.
Aliens.
Anyway, it's a really good story, and I recommend checking it out if you haven't already.
Honestly, my knowledge of creepypastas is that Herobrine was one, and that's about it. And I think like Slenderman exists.
Yeah, Slenderman. I mean,
Slenderman
there's
exists.
a lot of like small creepypastas and there's a lot of like big creepypastas. There's a lot of Nintendo ones for some reason. Like you don't hear fucking Crash Bandicoot creepypastas, but you hear Pokemon creepypastas, you hear Mario creepypastas. I wouldn't be surprised if there's any Kirby ones, considering the fun buses of some bullshit. Really?
I do know that a lot of kids, when they got hold of creepypasta, I don't think I ever wrote one myself, but a lot of like the creepypasta kids, super invested in it. They would try to make their own creepypasta,
Yeah.
which good for them, but they weren't exactly the pinnacle of writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like instant death disease, that was a pasta. 000000000 was another one, and that one was fucking hilarious. I'll send you the video. We can do a watch party for that. Fucking
Oh.
stupid. Let's see, what else was there? Herobrine was mid because it started off good, but then he just took it in a weird direction. Notch's dead brother or whatever.
I don't know, and I don't care. I just know it's more
Funny.
famous for being like a character in the community than anything.
Yeah.
Because after that creepypasta came out, Mojang has been removed Herobrine in some of the Minecraft updates.
Yeah.
Just to play along
For
with
most of them for a long time. They were very consistent
Yeah.
about it. Till Microsoft bought them.
Yeah.
Wait, Microsoft bottom?
Microsoft bought out Mojang.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I know Microsoft owns Minecraft, but I kind of missed the point there.
Okay. What else is there? But it doesn't need to be a creepypasta. Are there any urban legends that you guys have like found interesting?
Can I tell a story?
Go ahead.
I think when I was 17, 18, for some reason, me and a group of kids that I had as a group of friends, we thought that there was a ghost on our how do you call it? Sports? It's not really a sports center. It's just like a sports plaza,
Field?
I guess.
The field or whatever.
Yeah, it's a field but like there's the pool, there's the little like child's park, there's
Oh,
tennis.
the little complex, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tiny outdoor sports complex, and for some reason,
Sports venue, yeah.
I think it was Alvaro, who came with the idea of like, hey, let's do some ghost investigating, and let's see if there's a ghost in there. And I remember,
As you do.
yeah, as you do as a dumb teenager. We went to the bathrooms located underneath the pool, and we would start, the kids would wait outside, and someone with a phone would go inside with like the recording app and ask questions, wait a bit, and ask again.
Yeah.
I think I remember like hearing something, but it's like I don't really believe in ghosts. I've always thought it was someone else doing the funny tricks, but that's just me. But yeah, that's basically the, I guess, story that I have for Spooky Month. That I did some phasmophobia investigation with a phone. Would SCP count as a creepypasta or as an urban legend?
Which one?
SCP, like a thing in general.
SCP is its own
In
thing.
general,
Yeah.
that's its own thing. That's its own crazy thing.
SCP started as a creepypasta with SCP. I forgot what it was called. It was the statue. That was the first one.
Yeah, the
Peanut.
angel statues.
No, it wasn't the angel statue. It was
Oh, that's from Doctor Who.
Yeah, that.
I'll give you the
first one was
number.
the
173.
statue who scratched on the walls, right, with the blood and feces on the ground. And then it became its own entire monster, basically. Meep, is there any folklore that interests you?
Yeah, SCP-173 Peanut was the first SCP to be created.
I don't know, really. Not really too big on that kind of stuff.
Kind of same.
I do have one ghost story before we leave.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes. So this takes place April 26, 2021. This is my student's favorite story. And this actually happened to me.
Oh.
So that day, my parents had gone out to eat with my younger brother. My brother had come back from the Air Force. He had come back from boot camp. So they decided to go out with him to celebrate that he was finally home. However, I was working on my finals at the time.
Oh.
So I had to stay home. And because I was home alone, I brought my 2 dogs up with me to my bedroom. I had the door wide open because I had no reason to close it other than, like, the main reason I closed my door is to keep outside noise from coming in.
Yeah.
The TV or whatever. So it was open, just to let in some air from the rest of the house. You guys never got to meet her, but I had 2 dogs. One is Roxy. You guys have seen Roxy. And my other dog, her name was Candy. She is the sweetest.
You showed me pictures of her.
I've shown you Candy before. She is the sweetest little girl I have ever known. She had big button eyes, a big button nose. She's very soft, very fluffy. Just the sweetest little girl. She never growled or barked at anyone. She's never bitten anyone. She was just a cuddler. If she saw you, she would go up to your feet and flop on her back and ask for belly rubs.
Aw.
However, this night when we were on my bed, my dogs were on my bed as I was working, Candy just started growling.
Oh.
She was growling at an empty hallway. I grabbed my camera. Here, I'll send you guys the video. I took a video of Candy just growling at my empty door. There's nothing in there. You can see in the hallway she's not growling at anything. She's in front of a mirror, but she's not looking at the mirror. She was just growling. It was very strange. Because Roxy wasn't reacting to anything. I've had like experiences in this house where I feel like I hit something. I've had something open my door while I'm getting dressed. And I'm like, excuse me, I need to go to work soon. And then they'll just shut the door. And
Spoopy ghost.
Spoopy ghost.
Supernatural friend.
Yeah, so I've sent the video and the Roomba of Thought images. So Candy's just there growling. So I did the sensible thing, and I went downstairs and I made some mac and cheese. And
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese at 3 a.m. hits different, dude. Later that night, my parents came home. I told them what happened. They're just like, "Oh, you're fine. Maybe she just saw something." It left. I kept working later that night to finish on time. Finish before the next class.
Yeah.
And I exported my first project at 1:57 a.m. that night at 4:26.
Oh, geez.
April 26th, right? I exported it, and I realized I had some more changes to make, and so I exported several more times, trying to get the thing just right for my final. I finished my project at April 26, 2021 at 2:52 a.m. So I guess the growling with Candy happened the 25th. But at 2:52 a.m., I finished. I was done. I decided I'm going to relax for a little bit, so I spent the next 30 minutes on TikTok.
Like, a lot of people
As
would
you
do,
do.
except me, because I don't really have TikTok.
Yeah. or Instagram Reels, one of the two.
I have neither.
And
I'm weird.
when I finished, I felt my head super dizzy. I felt foggy. Like, it really did feel like my head was in this dense fog. And I'm thinking, oh, it's really late. I should get some sleep. So I checked the time. It's 2:10 in the morning.
Huh?
Keep in mind, in 2021, the time change was in March.
Oh. Weird.
I have a photo of that as well.
I
And,
believe you.
I have a Snapchat filter, right, that tells you my location. I don't care if you guys know my location specifically. But it has the date and the time I took the photo. And I have circled the date and the time that I finished working on my finals. So somehow I went back an hour. No idea how, but I do have evidence that I was working. And it's not like my computer glitched out or anything, because it was on the entire time and it never went into sleep mode because I had music playing in the background.
Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, that's...
Possible one of the machines maybe daylight savings would. I don't know.
I don't know, because both of them were in use at the time.
Something that sometimes happens to me, in my house, which my parents built, you know, they designed the house and was built to their specifications. When I'm alone at home, sometimes when I'm downstairs, I just hear, downstairs in my, like in the living room, I just hear weird noises. I don't know why. The first thing I do is walk up to the kitchen, grab a knife. Like one of the big...
It'd be nice to hold a knife, though.
Nith.
It'd be nice to hold
Shank a ghost.
You got the shank the ghosts.
I mean, if I dip it in salt, it would work.
Anyway, this is a
What?
picture of Candy.
Have you not heard of salt being good for against ghosts, Meep?
Oh?
No?
It's I guess neither of you watch Supernatural.
Oh, it's Supernatural was way too long for me to get into. It's
My
kind of the
sister-
reason why I have
My sister watched it all, and one of the things that stuck with me is like salt works on ghosts.
Ghosts are apparently slugs.
Indeed. And like, if you want to kill a ghost, you can't kill a ghost itself. You either have to burn the body, or if the body was already burned, you have to burn their the person who died most prized possession. Because, you know, the ghost would be linked to the item instead of to the body.
burn whatever it is they're haunting.
Yeah.
Burn down your house.
So, we've been going for 3 hours. This is probably the longest Roomba of Thought, but it has been a really interesting Roomba of Thought for everyone.
We did have some good talks, yes.
Yes, incredibly enlightening talks for me personally. So, I'm going to now look for someone to rate, and I'm going to tell you all the schedule for next week. Tomorrow, I will probably stream Need for Speed, but I will stream it in an earlier hour since I want to join Octo Ninja as he plays funny table games. On Tuesday, I will be playing the Funny Bear game, the original one. Horror, indeed. On Wednesday, I will be doing Necopar. Oh wait, ads. Oh wait a minute. Well, I guess I can look for.
I don't get ads no more.
Let's go.
Oh.
Imagine getting ads. Couldn't be Mina.
Get ads all the time. Dude, I had to get uBlock. I have to constantly like refresh it when I shut down Google if I want to watch YouTube without ads.
The one I have usually actually does a good job where I don't need to do anything like that. It's just like occasionally I need to refresh the page. It like blocks the ad, but it
originally
just kind
was
of
like that, but now
hangs.
they're constantly updating Google Chrome to try and get rid of it.
mine works. So
Send me a link to whatever the fuck you got.
Yep.
I'm just using like AdBlock best ad blocker.
I have
Like the
AdBlock.
most sus.
I have AdBlock.
It's one of my friends told me to use, so.
And I'm using the one my brother uses, and it's working. So.
ad block, like base ad block, is not working for me, unfortunately.
Let's see. I don't want interesting to read.
Mine, the one thing mine doesn't block all the time though is sometimes like the YouTube homepage ads, but I don't care about those. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those don't really matter.
I can
Okay.
ignore those. It's not like an unskippable ad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday we'll be going back to reading the funny cat made visual novel. On Thursday I will be back to voice more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 2. We are right after getting we now got the news that Groval is Batman, and we gotta catch him. On Friday, what is it again? Oh, Friday we will be doing more Final Fantasy 2, which we couldn't do today a lot because I watched Anna and the King with my parents. A real good movie. On Saturday, I have no idea. We'll probably either stream break or backup stream. And on Sunday will be Roomba of Thought as per usual. We will see. I will stop the stream now, but I will be back in a couple
Later
of
today, Mina Raichu.
Maybe
Yeah,
Later
we're
today,
gonna be having a
BMDV.
short session today though, because I have obligations to do afterwards.
I would have liked to say that. You both of you cut me off.
Haha.
You said you were gonna end the stream.
I was going to say I'm going to end the stream, but I'll be back in a couple of hours. In Mina
hour.
Raichu's.
Oh, like 30 minutes.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I
30
haven't had dinner. Ugh.
Well, I gotta go. We gotta get going at 1, and then I gotta leave at 2.
Okay, I'll
So
ask my-
theoretically, we probably couldn't even do D&D, but we can do Golf with Friends.
We could probably do Golf with Friends, yeah. Well, we'll be
I
Mina
don't have
Raichu's
golf for
channel.
friends on this computer.
No,
Ah, shit.
but I have it. We could also, Mina, if any of the other D&D people have Left 4 Dead, we can play some Left 4 Dead.
We could do Left 4 Dead 2 if you guys are down.
Me doesn't
I don't have that
Left
on
4
this
Dead.
computer. I don't have that game, period.
You should probably look it up. I think it's pretty cheap. At least I bought it when it was like
Well, I don't have Steam installed on this computer because I'm at school.
Sag.
Fair.
Fair.
Pain.
Yep. I will probably
Yeah.
go downstairs and ask if I can have dinner early then, so I don't miss the D&D session or
Yeah.
the streaming. But I will see you all later, and if it doesn't happen for whatever reason, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Mina stays quiet.
I said good.
It did not pick
You
up.
said it so quietly the mic didn't pick it up.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Bye bye. See. Thank you. You too. But